Okay. Yay! All right. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to the second session of the Part-Timers playing with a full deck. And today we will have all 4 of our party members who are going to be with us for the remainder of this 8-session long campaign. And I am your DM, Cindy, otherwise known as Babble Drabble on Twitter, vaguely on Facebook, and then just like CL Butor 87 or without the 87 on Instagram and something else. I don't remember. Just the Babble Drabble's fine. I like Twitter better anyway. And so we're going to introduce our players. Our players are going to give us their name, their pronouns, their character, their pronouns, anything they want to tell us about their character or themselves. And so we will start with Evan, who's playing Nim.
Hi, I'm Evan Copeland. I'm alphabet underscore Evan on social medias. I am playing Nim. They are a tiefling dragon sorcerer. Super fun. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Good. So next up we have Phil.
Hi, I am Phil. I go by he and him. I am playing Arado, who is a homebrewed acorn, and yeah, I'm super excited. And he also goes by he and him. So I'm on social media at phil.weasley or Phil Weasley. So yeah, glad to have you here.
Cool. All right. Next up is Sam.
I am Sam, and I just got a Twitter yesterday, so there's not much on there. And my character's name is Gidget. She is a rock gnome artificer, and she is a little crazy.
Fair enough. Okay. And then our newest member is Devin.
Hello.
That's my problem.
My name's Devin Moody. I'm not social enough to be on most social media platforms, so I got nothing. But I am playing Jobert Joe Perkins, a mule centaur, and she's a fighter. She's fairly androgynous, but she'll go by she, her, and just happy to be here.
Okay. Thank you, Devin. I'm glad you could join us. So there is an echo that we can hear. Is it just coming from me, or is it coming from everyone?
I don't hear it.
I don't really hear it either.
Let's see.
Is it?
So there is an echo that we can hear. Is it just coming from me, or is it coming from everyone?
I don't hear it.
I don't really.
I didn't hear an echo. Does someone still hear an echo?
Yeah, I'm still hearing an echo, so I don't know if it, you know what, it may be me. There we go. Sorry, user error.
Okay, good. So, I know that's not great, but at least it's not my error. Okay, so our story starts about a week after our first adventure. The part-timers had headed over to the small town of Ashvale because they had heard that all the animals were leaving the valley, and that was making the villagers concerned, namely that maybe a big disaster was happening and they wanted someone to check it out and head it off. And so our part-timers, who at that time were only Nim, Arado, and Gidget, headed into that town, decided not to even talk to them because people are dumb and weird. People are weird and we don't like them. And just went into the forest, and they learned that it was super, super quiet. And the only thing they could really hear was Arado could hear this, like almost like a scream as a tree fell. And they went to investigate, and they learned that these ash gums were dying throughout the forest, and so they headed off into where the animals had come from, hoping to intersect with whatever was driving them out. They had a few altercations, and they finally found this dryad that was setting the trees on fire. But she was doing that because she wanted them to live. There was a tense confrontation in which Nim, ever sassy, ever unwilling to be told what to do, was briefly fey-charmed by this dryad, Calypta, and before being convinced to leave before they burned to death. The party spent the night in Ashvale telling them what they had learned. The Ashvale was pleased that, they'd gone out. This seemed very scary. And in the middle of the night, there was a big rainstorm. And when they left the valley, they came across Calypta once again, who thanked them for not getting too terribly much in their way, and gave them a little amber kind of heart that could be used for fire resistance. And our party went back to the Fledgling Foxtrotter, where they've been in the last week doing various downtime activities. It's basically just a little kind of hostel/tavern on a crossroads. The people that are there are those that come to the Fledgling Foxtrotter. They're new adventurers, and one particular adventurer that our part-timers had seen during the last couple days was this sturdy-looking mule centaur with this amazing splint armor that could it seems like it's too much armor for someone starting out, but it's legal, we checked. And They have these big old ears, and they're just buff as all get out. And one day, I suppose, this mule centaur fighter would have gone over to these other three individuals, because Mavis, their bronze dragonborn hostess, would have been like, "Oh, sweetie, I'm so glad you're here. We're so glad to see you. You come and you said these are your new people. It was Joe, you said?"
Jobert, but Joe works.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fine.
it's Jobert then, is it? Like not Joe,
Jobert,
but Joe.
yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's fine. I'll react to almost anything.
Oh, well,
So
that's
that's fine.
That's accommodating of you, and that's helpful because these is your new party members. You're gonna go out into the world with them. You're gonna make friends that last a lifetime, and you're gonna have adventures. And this tall drink of water, the tiefling individual. This is Nim. I've heard they have many names, but it's Nim. And you see this dark-skinned tiefling with like this awesome-looking pointed tail, and this big old crochet hook with runes all written down it. Probably still complaining about the burrs that are in their robe at this point.
And their hair.
And their hair. And then this wee little one, this is a Rotto, seed of Balinus, and so you see this little person that looks like they're made out of like a tree and plants, and they have like a little acorn hat. And then I believe this is Gidget, and she gestures towards this little rock gnome that is not really paying attention to anything, but has like an amazing collection of trinkets in front of her. And so these are your new best friends. And Maeve is like, "I'm gonna go get you a sandwich." She's gonna walk away.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Hi. I was passing through town a few days ago. Was not prepared for this, but that's fine. That's fine. Okay. I will also try not to step on any one of you. But if I do, just give me a holler, and I'll get off you.
I'll just shock you.
Oh, that's super duper.
Wait, don't step on me.
Are we in the? So we're inside the tavern.
Yes, you're inside the Fledgling Foxtrotter.
Okay.
It's large.
Not a lot
So
of depth so far. Pretty good.
yeah, like there's wide aisles between the tables. The doors are all kind of double doored. There's an upstairs which you can go into, but your room has been like downstairs.
That's nice.
And there's actually like it's not in the stable, but it is you can access it from the outside.
Okay.
Smart.
So Arata would bounce over, super excited, to Joe and be like, "Hey, Joe, can I ride you?"
Generally, just for the future, not an appropriate thing to ask a centaur, but because you seem nice and lightweight, maybe sure before outside.
But not right now.
What now?
Not now. I can't do it now.
I mean, if we want to go outside, I guess, sure.
Oh wait.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay. And this is all the conversation you want to have with your new best friend?
Nim is still very, wary of the giant donkey lady.
No.
I would like to point out that Gidget hasn't even looked up to see what Joe looks like yet. She's just been lurking on her newest trinket, and she just hasn't looked up. So if anybody mentions that there's this large person that's right there, I'm going to be like, "Wait, what?" And look up and be like, "Oh, you're a horse."
Run right into my knee or something.
She's the donkey.
Oh,
It's a mule.
you're right.
Half
It's a mule.
both of those. Well, in a
There's
purse.
in the person.
With the person bit.
33% repeating.
Sure, you can draw me. That'd be fun.
Okay. And Gidget's like, "Thank you," and goes back to doing whatever she was doing before.
Can I roll a perception check to see what Joe's carrying?
What who's doing? What Joe's doing?
Joe's carrying. on their person.
What
I'm carrying
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can roll me a perception check if you like.
in my saddlebags.
Sure.
Saddlebag. I got an 18 plus, what's perception? Intelligence plus 2?
Yes. So that's a
That's a 20.
okay. So dirty 20. Devin, what would Arato find doing a very thorough once over with his senses?
Well, the most obvious things that I'm really not even trying to hide are a shield. I got a lance and a longsword, a Tolwar longsword. But I also have a small amount of gold, deck of cards, some nice dice playing set, and 50 feet of rope. And these rations, a water skin, tin.
It's crazy. It's almost like you have like an explorer's pack, but you don't have any like secrets that he could have like divined because there's like a weird shape that he can see or anything like that. Is Joe-Bird an open book, really?
Pretty much, yeah. Joe-Bird doesn't keep a lot of secrets. Doesn't really have a lot of secrets. Just sort of really tries hard to help.
Okay.
Tends to have a hard time with people sometimes because of the... Maybe it's the ears. I don't know. She hasn't really... people don't quite... Not super like this with me, but maybe someday.
Nim's gonna pull out some like essential oils or perfume and spritz it toward Joe.
You're being so mean to your new best friend.
That nice. Got
And
some
then I'll pat her gently.
goo oils.
That's better.
All right. And about this time, Mavis comes back and she has several plates of cookies, which she just thunks down. And there's like some bran cookies. There's some cookies that look like they're made with oats and crickets. There's like thumbprint cookies too. So those are the 3 kinds you get. She's doing her best to. What?
Did you say oats and crickets?
Oats and crickets, yeah, just in case.
Now, are the thumb cookies made with real thumb?
No, these are made with they're like raspberry preserves.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Last time she was told that you guys are maybe vegetarian, so she's doing her best.
Yeah.
Have that conversation.
Okay.
Sorry.
And she'll just be like, "All right, so we have a new task for y'all. In the other valley, not the one you went to. There's a few because we live at a 3-dimensional kind of place, and so there's multiples around us, and there's some up, and there's some down, and there's some there, and then back, and to the side. There are many places. But anyway, so these two individuals that I know, Marna and Reek, they wanted me to send someone out to them because their children are gone missing. And you know, normally children just like to go and play. But the problem is that there's a dam near their town, and it broke a few days ago, and everyone's just kind of been real on edge. I'm not really sure what, but just they seem to be on edge for some reason. And then these 2 youngins went missing, and it just seems like they're real catastrophizing, if that's a word. Catastrophizing, catastrophe. I don't. They're making a mountain out of a molehill is what I think they're doing. But they have offered 150 gold to anyone that can go and find their little rapscallions. And I thought y'all would love to go with your new best friend Joe-Bird.
Sure.
Well, okay. Sure. There's a broken dam. Where are people trying to fix that, or?
Sure. Yeah, they're probably trying real hard to fix that. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Sure.
Oh, but it's mostly the children.
I think it's just 2 children, not like 2 men. Like, I think if all the town's children went missing, they'd probably be more concerned.
I mean, are there some, like, abandoned buildings with things still in them?
I don't think so. It's just like a little town. It's near a river.
Is the town underwater since the dam broke?
No, I don't think that's the problem. I think it just broke, and so now I feel like the river is just faster now because it was always running. It was never dried up.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know too much about dams. I don't know what you call someone that specializes in dams. I'm gonna call it a damist. I'm not a damist by trade, so I don't know.
I think that's a fabric.
A damask.
Oh, damask. You're right. You're right.
Okay.
I'm just gonna be like, isn't that an engineer?
Or is it a dammer?
A beaver.
A beaver? So
Beavers do good things.
beavers make
Should
it.
we pick the beavers to help fix the dam?
What was that?
Should we find some beavers? Is that what you want us to do to fix the dam?
I mean, you can, but I think Marna and Reek just want you to find their little ones. That's all I think. I think they probably got it taken under control. You'd think they would, because they've lived by this dam like their whole life, so they must, know what to do if it breaks.
So where do we find them again?
It's just in the valley over. Like, you went to that valley, but you'll go to that valley.
Oh, okay. So we're going to that valley.
That valley.
Yeah.
And I believe the name of the town that you're going to in that valley is The Town. It's called The Town, capital T, lowercase h, lowercase e, capital T again, but there's a space between the two, lowercase o, lowercase w, lowercase n. So The Town.
The town in that valley.
In that valley, yes.
The town.
It should be easy to find them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's the only beacon in that valley.
Fair.
Good thing there's no other towns in that valley.
Oh, I don't think there is. That'd be crazy. Like, that'd be so strange, right? If there were multiple towns in that valley, but one of them was called The Town, and the other one was called like Small Town or something.
Could be a village.
The hamlet.
All right.
So, should we find some chillins?
Oh, sure.
Let's go.
All right.
Do we still have our faithful donkey steeds?
Yes, you have your 3 steeds. Whose names?
Oh, you have donkeys?
Mm-hmm.
We do.
Yep, you have.
They look just like you.
Except
They do
we
not.
have
Well, donkeys are a bit smaller, I think. I mean, unless you've got some real tall donkeys.
There is a world record of a very tall donkey.
how tall are the donkeys?
Size is just a construct, so.
One of them is rather small. It's the smaller of the 2.
Like a mini donkey?
And that's
Yeah.
probably the one I ride, right? Since I'm the biggest.
If you want to, you can.
I feel like at that point you're just walking with the donkey between your legs.
Oh no, I'm gonna sit like side saddle,
Yeah, I was going to say side saddle.
and then my tail will drag along the side.
The donkey's just cussing every step of the way.
And I'm going to name her Peanut.
You
Aw.
can. Her name is Daisy, but you can call her Peanut.
Well, that dryad thing is something, but I call her Aletha because she looks like she's made of leaves.
The Dryad's name is Calypta. Yes. So there's Daisy / Peanut, there's Pinstripe, and there's Lady Twinkle.
I want Lady Twinkle.
Go for it.
Wait, the one is named Daisy / PETA?
Peanut.
Peanut.
Oh.
You just renamed her. So
That's right.
it just happened. All right, and then Arado is on Lady Twinkle, who has long, lovely eyelashes.
Do we have to ride the horse, or can I walk beside her and talk to her?
They're
Right?
donkeys, yeah. So you can walk beside Lady Twinkle. You can have a conversation with her if you.
Yeah.
Okay. If you do you have speak with animals, or do you just like to chat?
I don't have speak with animals. I do have survival.
Okay, then you chat with Lady Twinkles, and she just plods along, just her head bobbing. Who knows what's going on in her brain?
I'll just walk.
Yeah, nobody even offers you like a donkey or anything.
Just a cart. No.
Ooh.
I make everyone else pull it. No. I'll just walk. That's fine. I
Okay,
also don't speak with animals, though, so I have no idea what the donkeys are thinking or saying.
that's fair. Gidget actually doesn't even put any of her. She doesn't ride hers. She just puts all of her tools on Pinstripe. That's it.
Mhm.
And walks beside it.
Excellent. So really, this is a long walk into the next valley.
As we're all just chatting.
You this side of the valley is more heavily wooded. You kind of come from like rolling, almost like rolling plains with little copses of trees. And the valley you had gone into had forest in it, and then this one basically seems to be like it's all forest. It's all forested, but there is like a strong track, a strong road. It's just dirt. There's occasionally like some stones marking it, so you know I'm still on a track. And it looks like people have tried to keep back the trees. You can see that there's little small saplings that have been sheared away when they tried to grow into the roads, and things like that. And after about 4 hours, you guys find yourselves in a very small town. There's like there's like maybe 20 buildings in this whole town. Most of them are just homesteads. The road kind of winds around towards the back of these houses, and you can see a couple of individuals out with their laundry, just sort of flapping it and then putting it up. One thing you can easily notice is that you start to see tieflings and half-orcs, probably more often than you'd expect. There are humans around too, but it looks like this town is like predominantly tiefling, half-orc, and a few humans. And the forest kind of falls away as you round these houses into town. And you can see in front of you is a small stream, just kind of cutting straight across the town. Can you guys see the map that I put up?
Yes.
I can't get to roll 20.
I can't.
Okay. It's also now on the thing that I'm doing. It's also now on Twitch. Okay, I'm going to try to share a file with you, Sam.
Is it on
No, I don't want to share that. I don't want to share that because then you'll see the whole thing.
Is it the map with the squares that you're talking about, Cindy?
The map with the squares. It should look like there's a circle in the middle and a bunch of little rectangles around it and some little paths. Which one do you guys see?
I see it on Twitch.
It's on Twitch.
I do on Twitch now, but I do not see it on Roll20.
That's silly because I'm literally on Roll20. Let's see. Did I need to invite you all. There may be a thing that I was supposed to... That's what it says. It just says players on it for some reason. Switch it, play on land, delete page. Sorry. I forgot that that's a thing. Oh gosh. I forgot that was a thing I had to do. How do I make... Somebody save me. Oh, there it is. Okay, I finally figured out a way to stick the players tab on it. So I think if you guys go to Roll20 now, you can see it.
Yeah.
Can you see it, or is it all darked out?
It's all dark.
Awesome.
It's all dark.
Okay, so I'm going to reveal some areas.
Now I'm hearing an echo on Cindy's.
That may be because of you need to turn off like the sound on Roll20. Reveal areas. Okay.
I thought I had turned off the sound on Roll20.
Oh, just tokens. Snap to center. Reveal. I wish to reveal my friend. Fine. Fog of War is off because this is complicated and I don't feel like spending 10 minutes figuring it out. Okay, can you see it now?
I didn't see a big thing.
Can see a big what?
A big stream with a dam. And here's the town.
Yeah, it's over on the left-hand side if you're looking at the whole thing. Okay, so the town... So I guess, since I think you guys can see the whole thing, Sam, I will send you that file through Zoom, because you should see it. I wanted to keep things secret.
I see the map now.
Keep them secret, keep them safe.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I feel like I don't know. Maybe my headphones are being weird.
If they're being weird, you can turn them off. I don't want to.
Hi.
Are we entering the town from the bottom of the image?
Good lord. Are you doing a thing, Devin?
I'm trying to get... I don't know, I think my headphones are not being fun right now.
If they're not working, you can take them off as long as we can hear you.
I mean, I can hear you okay now.
Okay. To answer your question, Evan, yes, you are coming in from the lower left-hand side into town. Yep, okay, so...
Hi. Yes. Hi.
Everyone can still hear me, right?
I can.
Okay, cool. Because I'm trying to send the file and it just froze. So now I'm just ignoring it. Alright, so you guys come in, if you're looking at the map on Roll20, you can see that you're coming in from the left-hand side where there's like a little town, and it seems like it is closely crowded in by trees. The path had been large, and then it narrowed down on the right-hand side of the town where you kind of went past the backside of people's houses. And there's a little cleared area where you can see that people normally do their laundry out there. There look like there's some demarcated areas where children might play, like games of the sports ball and the throw ball and the kick ball, which are how sports go, I believe. And you can see this narrow stream. I'm going to call it north because there's not a compass on this map. So up top is north because that's easiest to remember. And you can see the stream out there. And then you can also turn, when you turn, you also see this conical top, conical roof in the middle of the town, which as you head left, you see it looks like it's kind of a large open area that there's a conical roof on it, and there are like small partial walls that are like maybe like 3 feet wide, but it's a largely open area, and it seems like this is kind of a marketplace. It's early afternoon at this point, so it's fairly empty. What would you guys like to do at this point? There are some people around, but nobody's greeted you yet.
I would like to scan the tables to see what valuables are there.
Sure. Okay, so there are tables laid out in rows, but there's really wide areas between them. Like you could easily run a cart, not like a huge cart, but still a cart, like a one-horse drawn cart through these aisles, and there's 2 of these aisles. Oh, Evan's gone away. He was having some internet trouble. He's back, and
Sorry.
now I have to move all of you, but that's fine, Evan. It's fine. I live to suffer. And there are wooden tables that look like they're like semi-permanent. Like I said, most of these tables are empty. You do see that there's like a few leftover overripe pieces of like cabbage, some like crushed grapes and things around there. And then there are and then one of the tables is occupied with 2 individuals. They're both half orcs, one a man, one a woman, and they look like they're going through like a large bushel of fish, and they're kind of like smelling them and feeling them for like ripeness. What fish? I had a thing, but I only have it from reading Shogeki no Soma, Food Wars, about fish, and I don't remember what it is, but they're like checking if their eyes are overly sunken, checking if there's like blood coming out of their gills, basically checking and seeing, can we like still sell these fish? Should we do something with these fish? But that's kind of all you see. There's no real valuables. They do have like fillet knives on them, so they can descale and debone some fish if they have to. They look like they're wearing like rough spun clothing, and kind of just quietly talking to each other. Although as you approach and Jobert's hooves clop onto this actual paved area, they both kind of glance up, do like the head nod, and then go back towards talking to each other.
I shall also head nod.
Oh.
So are we gonna?
I think I would ask them if they know the couple that with the missing children.
Sorry, what was that, friend?
Hi, we're here looking for. We heard there was a couple with some missing children.
Yeah.
Their names are Marla and
Yeah, that's right.
Marla and Reek.
No, your first friend, the pretty one, was right. It's Marna and Reek.
That's what I said.
Yeah, they were exactly right. So.
Do you know where we can find them?
Yeah, they're kind of keeping to themselves. There's they have a house a little bit back there, and they point kind of in the direction you came from. But you can see through these large open areas that there is a small, essentially hovel back there, and it looks like there's like a little tree in front, and there's a sad looking like swing with a single plank on it, just very slowly, just meandering. And they're like, yeah, that's where they live. They've been keeping close. They keep going out into the woods, but I think they're pretty sure, like the rest of us, are that their kids are gone. So they're hoping they'll come back.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Think at around the same time as the dam broke.
Oh,
Prior to that event.
well, I think that no, it was after. It was a crazy thing. And it's the gentleman talking, and the woman is like, it's nothing we have to talk. It's nothing we have to talk about. That dam was just old, and it wasn't there wasn't a reason that it broke, but it was. And then their kids went missing. Kids go missing sometimes.
I would like to see if she's lying.
Okay. Roll insight.
I got a natural 20 plus 6.
Dang.
Nice. Okay. So with a natural 20. Okay, good. That's right. Sorry. I'm trying to figure this out. You guys are still off. Whatever, I'll figure that out. Sorry, you're gone. So with a natural 20 plus 6, you think that she's holding something back. You also get the idea that she is afraid, like she feels like she can't talk about whatever this is.
So I would probably see if there's a way for us to step back away from the couple. I would be like, you guys come here. I don't think that everything is kosher. I don't think we're getting out of it.
What now? And then I'll just sort of try to crouch to the fake horns level a little bit. What now?
So you.
I think she's holding some information back. I don't think we're getting the whole story about what happened with this dam or those kids.
What size is Erato right now?
I'm like 3'8", 3'8". Like,
Okay.
He's a small creature.
So kind of similar to maybe a gnome or a halfling.
mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, then I'll I guess try to.
I'll stretch.
Oh.
What I tell people.
All of a sudden, Narata just grows so he can whisper.
Ugh. That is quite a trick you've done. I mean, I can rear, but that's about it. That's not really the same thing at all. Huh.
I think Nim would persuade her. I would say, thank you for talking to us. Would you happen to have, a domicile close where we could, get a drink or further the discussion?
The half-orc woman is a what? What do you want?
Your house. You have a house.
You want to come in our house? Why would you want to come in our house? There's
Should we take her?
to get a drink and finish this conversation.
I think the conversation is finished right now, and she slaps her companion on the arm, and he's like, can you believe what this extremely beautiful creature is saying? And he's like, I don't think we have to make a big deal about it, but it is around these parts. Maybe you're in a different place. Around these parts, we're not so forward. So you have to talk in public. There's it's a courting ritual, and she's like, yes. If you want to begin a relationship with people, you have to properly court them. You can't just go into their house. He's like, some people think that's old fashioned, but it's our way.
Oh, I think there's been a misunderstanding. Or not. I don't really know.
Can I see if, while they're talking about going into someone's home, if I could identify which home is theirs?
How would you do that?
Perception and looking at body language.
Okay. You can do a perception check then.
I got 13 plus 4. 17.
13 plus 4. Okay. You do feel like I don't think you can pinpoint exactly which house is theirs, but you do get that they've kind of been like glancing like a little bit that way, like so, and you can see that there are two small houses in that direction. If you're looking at the map, they're the two small houses closest together on the left hand side of the big circle. So you don't know like 100% which of those two might be theirs, but they keep glancing at it enough that you feel like that's probably where they live.
Can I try to charm more information out of them?
Sure. Which one in?
So I would say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for being forward, ma'am. You're right. I'm from a place where such behavior is not uncommon. I apologize.
Everyone's different, but there's been a lot happening. I mean, not a lot happening, but you're inviting trouble by being forward. He's like, I don't know if you invite trouble by being forward. That seems like a lot, but it's why rock the boat?
Joe is gonna do one of these sort of side whispers, crouching real low to Gidget and whisper, Gidget, Nim must be from the big city.
Gidget's gonna be like, what gave you your first clue?
And Nim's tail is going to twitch irritably.
She's very fancy.
Yes, they're
very fancy.
They're very fancy.
Sorry.
I think Nim, I turn around to the party and I say, just in case, it's probably best we don't endanger this couple anymore. They seem like they're hiding something, and I guess I would be sort of whispering this too.
Are you? Because the woman is like, in danger. What are you bringing to our town? And he's like, we don't want any of that note. I think the fish are fresh enough, Rosemary, and they both just like leave.
They're gone.
So much for my charisma.
I mean, did you want to like roll something? You can, Evan, if you want.
At this point, no, it's okay.
I mean, they're not like fast walking; they're just like purposely leaving, and they're
sure. Let
5 feet, for the 10 feet.
Yeah, for S's and G's, let me roll persuasion, if that's cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'm proficient. So I got a 10 plus 6.
10 plus 6. Okay, and you're trying to persuade them to do what specifically?
Not be afraid of us at this point.
Okay, so it's a 16 is pretty soothing. So what do you say?
I yell at them and tell them not to worry about anything at all. It's gonna be fine. There's no danger. Life is danger.
and normally that wouldn't
This
really.
little creature is just yelling at them.
And then I go,
like you've taught them how to breathe. And really, like the authority in your voice, there's some power that you're infusing with it, and then the big, purposeful air out. They're just like, oh,
like a namaste right to their heart.
Yeah.
Right.
I really, as for effect, I want to do that behind Nim and just be like,
and so Rosemary's like, oh. I do feel like I'm worrying less. Thank you.
So while all of this is going on, I kind of want to keep watch of our surroundings and see if anybody else is looking at us, talk to these people.
Okay.
And then should we go introduce ourselves to those folks? The parents,
Parents?
the people.
yeah, merman reading.
Yeah, those are the ones.
So if Arado is looking around, he can see that in that same left-hand side where those two big buildings are, they look like They look like they're dry goods stores. Like one of them is kind of like a not like a warehouse, but it's obviously meant to house large amounts of goods, so that you can buy them over time and then restock it up. And you do see there's a couple, a human woman and a tiefling woman. They look like they're kind of exchanging. They're like exchanging fabric and holding it and talking to each other, but they're also like keeping an eye on you guys, just kind of like there's weirdos in our town, but they're not approaching.
Can I sneak over there and look like I'm shopping and try and hear the conversation?
Okay. Are you sneaking?
Yes.
Okay, so roll stealth. Look at Dinah helping you, Sam.
Well, I got a 10.
A 10? It's not so much stealthy. Like it's still sunny. It's like 2 p.m. So it's sunny, and there's not really anything between this open market and that shop. So people kind of see you, but you're like feigning casualness, and it's not as awkward as it could be. It does look like you're walking over, and then it does look like you legitimately get like distracted by a rock, and then like kind of wait until they look away, and then you walk back over. So if your party members are watching, it's very awkward, but if no one's consistently watching you, maybe it's not bad.
What the heck is he doing?
Maybe a dance or cultural, something cultural going on.
Mhm.
I mean, is he trying to get a mate?
I had not thought of that. I'm not sure how that works.
I don't know either. I don't know much about Fae.
Oh.
So how far away from the party would I be at this point?
If it's not a huge area. The party is near the middle of the marketplace. So if you're all the way over to the far buildings, you're like 75 feet away.
Okay. So I'm just kind of, looking at stuff.
Yeah. There's like a couple like potted plants on like an old used up barrel, and you're like, my friend.
I'm gonna start, like, talking at the plant.
It is a plant, so it's listening well.
Mhm.
And then did you want to just let Arado do this? Just go.
I don't even know what to do.
We're just gonna kind of watch.
This is just kind of entertaining at this point.
By now, the male half orc and Rosemary, the female half orc, have also followed you. And the man is like, it's your friend is making other friends.
He's trying real hard.
This is a strange question, so I apologize if it's inappropriate. But are you all in town to find someone? Is that what you're all doing? You're a group that came in town to find someone, like a companion or several? Because I know
No.
this beautiful individual apparently is interested in getting into a polyamorous relationship with me and my friend, and we're not against it. We're not against it at all. We just think that there's ways to do that. Just like there are ways to do it. You can't just go into someone's house and start drinking. And then your friend is with the flower pot.
Not that I'm against it. I just wanted to chat.
Oh, that's well. Oh, I haven't been rejected by such a beautiful person in a long time.
No rejection. I'm just saying.
It's okay. You can say it's no pressure.
Start with the chat.
Gidget is like hiding a little bit behind Joe and just like laughing, trying to like stifle her laughter into her armor. Like, unlike one of the withers. Just like, I can't believe this is happening.
And I've turned and observed this whole transaction between them and these two individuals at this point.
Okay, the two women that are in the door, you weren't particularly stealthy, So they have lowered their voices, but you can hear that they're just talking about like, oh, this looks like pretty good quality fabric. It's I think it'd be nice to make a dress out of it. And she's like, and then the other woman is like, a dress could be nice, a skirt. And the other one was like, oh yes, a skirt. So you can make 2 skirts instead of 1 dress. And the other one was like, yes, I think it's called an economy. Economy of fabric, yes. And the other one's like, oh yes, I think I've heard of the economy, yes.
And not knowing what they're talking about, Nim yells, "Excuse me, is that Damas?"
Is it?
It is not. It's like a cotton. It's like a blue dyed cotton.
I'm assuming we just have the donkeys on like a lead rope at this point.
Yeah, unless you're.
Oh, I was still on mine.
Okay.
Oh. Right into town, some real desperados.
But the 2 women kind of start when you shout out, "Is it Damask?" And they're just like, "No, it's cotton. I think it's cotton. It's a little bit scratchy." And the other one is like, "Oh, you don't complain. We should be grateful for what we have. Like, I guess we should be grateful for what we had, but it's not Damask." And the other woman, yeah.
Cotton? I'm not familiar with that that fabric.
It's made from a plant.
As most fabrics are.
Yeah, but and then you like do this maybe a little, and then you do like this, and then you do this, and then it's kind of a this. I think.
Oh, ingenious.
I didn't make it up, but thank you.
You're welcome.
And then they turn to each other like, I guess we'll go into the store and perhaps I'll pay for this. Like, yes, let's go into the store.
Maybe we should go talk to the people.
Yeah, let's go talk to Marna and Reek.
Reek, yeah.
Let's go, Daisy / Peanut.
Clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop. All right, and you head
I need
out.
this drawn. Somebody.
Just a really beautiful tiefling individual on a very small donkey.
Little donkey.
Yes, donkey. All right. So it's not far. It's like 50 feet away, and so you head over to this tiny hut with its sad little swing in front of it, and it has like 1 window on it, but it looks like it has the grease paper over it, not like actual glass, but just like that really thin paper that you used to put over windows so you can kind of bring in light, but it's not glass because you're poor. And there's like little notches against the door, and they seem to be indicating growth. And they're marked by a V and a T. So.
Gidget goes up to the door and just knocks.
Okay, like barely a second after you knock, the door flings open, and there is a tiefling man. He looks like he is maybe in like his late 20s, early 30s. He has kind of a scraggly beard. He immediately like looks out at your direction, clearly expecting to see someone your height, and shouts, "Virtue! Tommy!" And then it immediately falls behind him. You hear, "Is it our children? Is it our children, Rain?" And he's like, "No."
How tall is this threshold?
It's probably standard door height. What is that, like 7 feet tall?
7 feet.
Oh yeah, I can get in.
Yeah.
If I need to.
Yeah. A reek.
Gidget be like, "We're not your kids, but we were told to come and talk to you about your kids, because we might be able to help find your kids."
Yeah. Oh, can you? Can you really find Virtue and Tommy?
Well, we'll try our best.
Like, hey, come in. And you hear, Reek, is that they can find our children. If you go into this small hut, it's literally like one room, and there's like a cooking fire in one area, and then there's like basically a large bed in the other, and you can see that there is a tiefling woman. She actually has like white hair and dark red skin, and she looks like she's all bundled up in her blankets and kind of like blearily sitting up, like she's a bunch of hair, so she's like holding it away from her face to look at you.
And Nim walks over and takes her hand in his and says in Infernal, "Thank you, sister, for your kindness."
And she'll say in Infernal, it's, if you can find our children, there's nothing we couldn't do for you.
And I pat her hand.
Thank you, and she'll pat it back. You smell lovely, by the way.
Thank you. You smell too.
She actually it looks quite dirty in there, but and she appears like kind of have bad bedhead. But she doesn't smell bad. She doesn't smell like BO. She doesn't really smell like anything. So probably better than you expected.
So
like tiefling skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not too
Joe's
sweaty.
gonna take out a little notebook and a writing utensil
Mm-hmm.
and ask, so what do these children look like then? The appearance, Joe?
The man Reek, he's kind of moving like stools around. He's like moving stools around to things, and trying to make you guys comfortable in a way. There's like a tea kettle, and he like puts it on, and he's moving around a lot. He's trying to answer your question, and he'll let you know. Well, there's Virtue. She's about 8. She's not too much taller than your friend here, the gnome woman, and she's got kind of a dark brownish red skin, like me, and he has kind of brownish red skin, and she's got kind of black hair, like me as well, and then there's Tommy, and Tommy's only 6, and he takes more after his mother, kind of my complexion, but he has that white hair. It just goes everywhere, and he's a little bit shorter than she is.
Where's the last place that you saw them?
I honestly don't know where we saw them last. We probably saw them here. It was about 2 days ago now. In the morning we wake up and they have chores they need to do, and they have their reading that they need to do, and then we send them out, and we told them that that the dam has broken, so don't go towards the dam, but
when you send them out for their chores and things, where'd you send them to?
Well, there's a well near the creek, so they need to get water. That's our primary task. Get water and bring it back, because it takes several trips, and they're both small, so they have to kind of carry it together, and that teaches teamwork, and that's important to learn. They might bring in the wash when we do it. They'll sweep out the fire, things like that. They don't stray too much. There's like a compost heap near the forest, kind of south of us.
Okay.
And then the woman Marna is like, I think they crossed the creek. But she says that like quietly to Nim in Infernal. So if you know Infernal, you can understand, but otherwise she's just saying in Infernal.
I have a follow-up question.
Mm-hmm.
Can they swim?
Oh, of course. There's it's not near us, but the creek goes down a ways, and there's some small pools, and you can follow it down. And we've checked there. They weren't there. We didn't find any of their clothes or anything. We haven't found them at all. And Marna kind of whispers to Nim, I think they went into the forest past the creek.
And Nim says back in Infernal, why do you think that?
Before the dam broke, the creek was much wider. It was faster. It was harder to cross. So most of us didn't. There was no real need to. It's just forest out there. But they seemed excited. They told us they went down to the creek and they brought back some rocks and things that they hadn't been able to see. She kind of goes, kind of crawls across the bed, and then like pulls like a little open wooden crate, sort of. It's quite small. It's like shoebox size, but it's made of wood. You can see that there are like some dolls, some like tops, like a little bag that rattles. But she pulls out a really old-looking doll. It looks like it's actually made of porcelain, and then it has kind of a very faded-looking but fancy dress on it, and it's faceless. And she's like, she brought this back.
That's a nice doll.
Does Nim recognize this doll as something in particular?
You can do a check, like any of you can do a check, Arcana or History.
Let's do an Arcana check. I'm proficient in it, so maybe it'll tell me something.
Okay.
I'd like to do a check on it to see if there's any kind of like recognizable mud or sediment or debris.
I rolled a 10.
I got a 13 plus 6, so 19.
Sam, you said you were doing something?
I was going to do an Arcana, but I got an 11.
Okay. So I think the highest Arcana is a 19, and then Phil, you want to do like a Nature to check for sediment and things like that?
And I got an 11.
11, okay.
I tried History and got a 10. Nada.
Yeah. I'd say with a 10, you might think that their outfit kind of looks like kind of a fairy tale outfit. Like, maybe it's like a rich princess or something, which kind of would strike you as odd. In the valley, it's much more rural. There's not a lot of rich people. There might be some estates elsewhere that you've passed by, but those are few and far between. And yeah. And with a 10 on Nature, you do at least get the idea that this, I would say with an 11, you don't think this doll was underwater for long. Like, it doesn't seem to have, it doesn't seem to be as waterlogged and as like disintegrated as it might look. It doesn't seem like it has maybe like the algae that you might expect if it was resting on the bed of a river. It's clearly been in the water, but not like forever. Actually, you get that there's like a twig tangled up under its dress. So I think that's the most you can do for an 11. And then with a 19 on Arcana, there is magic on this doll, and it's a kind of magic that makes you feel sad, as though you've lost something very dear to you. It's not necessarily the doll itself is magic. It's kind of like some sort of magic that is imbued with loss and sadness. Eventually,
so there's like a residue? Yeah,
like a residue. Like it's settled over this doll.
And I think when Nim touches it, they gasp and clutch, like, that hurls their heart. because you said that they feel the pain, right? Like the loss.
Yeah, like they've lost something very dear to them. Like maybe it reminds them of. Does Nim like their grandmother?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So it probably would remind them like a little bit of the loss of their grandmother.
Oh, then in that case, Nim would be on the floor. Yeah, that's gotcha.
Yeah. So down goes Nim.
Okay, I'm
Startled. Gidget would. What was that? What was that?
I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry. I would go over to Nin and try and comfort them and ask what's going on, what happened.
And I would tell the group that I felt a magical essence, residue, residual something, and it nearly broke my heart. I feel a great sense of loss, and like longing for what's gone, and it's tied to this puppet, this doll.
Oh my! So better not touch that then.
It doesn't. Does it feel like it has a spell on it?
No, it's more like an emotion has been attached to it, but it's not enchanted in any way. It's just holding it for somehow.
Well, that's really strange. It looks like it's been in the woods for a while.
And it's wet. I wonder if it was in the, Marna said that the creek went down significantly when the dam broke, and I wonder if this has something to do with what the kids found whenever they would play along the newly revealed creek bed.
Well, I wonder if it wasn't on the other side of the creek. I mean, it's been kind of in the woods and it's kind of wet. I wonder if they brought it back from the other side.
Possibly. Marna said that she has a feeling that they crossed the creek now that it's so low.
I think maybe we should
we ought to go check it.
Yeah. I think Joe's got that right.
Before we head over, Gidget would want to ask Marna and Reek and be like, so the people in town were being a little shifty about the dam. Do you guys know what's going on with the dam and why it broke?
When Nim went down, Marna would have kind of not left her bed, but kind of leaned over to kind of gingerly comfort Nim and be like, you feel it too. You feel the heartbreak. But Reek will answer your question, because Marna seems to have this, and so. But repeat that question, Sam.
So she'd be kind of talking fast and be like, so the people in town kind of were shifty about the dam and acting like it was expected but not expected, that the dam was old. Is there something going on with the dam that would possibly have made it break?
Other than a severe lack of public funding?
I mean, yes.
Reek would tell you that maybe they're embarrassed. I think we all knew we should maintain the dam, but it seemed good enough. And I don't think anyone was too concerned when it broke. It's not all the way gone. There's about a little bit more than half left, so I think we could fix it if we had a mind to, and we will. But it went out early that evening, about 3 days ago, and when it did, you could hear the crack of the logs breaking even from here, and it's a ways. It's not too far, but it's not too close either. So it was quite loud, and people went to check. Well, we waited a little. We didn't know it was coming, and we were worried, but we went to check, and it seemed like our creek still runs, so we can get water, and it didn't look like it was going to flood the town or anything like that. But then that night, there just kind of came a noise, sort of from the forest and from across the river where the dam is, and it sounded like a woman crying, but it was very loud, and it was very sad, and it was quite spectral, I suppose you'd say.
Oh my!
It's not like anything we'd heard before. And in the morning we didn't hear it. You could hear it on and off at night, almost like it was carried by the wind or something, and but it was gone in the morning, and it was unnerving, but nothing bad had happened because of it.
And you haven't heard it since?
No, we've heard it every night since. And
every night?
Oh.
Yes, it's been there every night since. And Marna will tell you, she is worried that whatever that is has stolen away the children. But people don't want to talk about that. They don't want their children stolen too.
So, because...
You said that in Infernal, right?
Yeah, Marna's only talked in Infernal so far.
Okay.
Because Nim has like a sage background and proficiency in Arcana, would they know if anything sounded familiar? Could I do an Arcana check to see if any of it rings a bell?
Yeah, you can do an Arcana check, yeah.
8.
Would I be able to do a history check?
Sure. 8 Arcana. It could be some kind of spectral creature. Maybe the dam was housing something. It's pretty vague.
Would I be able to, while they're having this conversation in Infernal, take a look around at the things that the kids have collected and see maybe what isn't part of the area that, like the stones or whatever they've collected, to see what may be readily in this town?
Okay, so you want to kind of go through their little box of things to see if there's anything that stands out. Are you trying to be stealthy about it?
No, I think since, they've been going through those box of toys, I wouldn't necessarily be too stealthy about it.
Okay. If you try to reach for it, Marna will immediately stop, kind of patting Nim from over here, and then grab it and clutch it to her heart, and just be like, and say in Infernal that you should not touch my children's things.
And I think Nim would say, it's okay, sister. He didn't mean any harm.
If he didn't mean any harm, he should ask.
And then I think Nim would just gently say to the party, let's ask before we do anything.
I'll put my hands up and be like, I can't speak, of course. I will gesture an apology.
Does Marna speak Common?
You don't know yet?
Marna in Infernal.
Yeah.
Do you speak Common?
Of course I can. But why would I?
My friends here and I we're very interested in helping you find your children, especially after what I felt from the doll. And I would like them to be a part of the conversation, so that way we have a better chance of finding what happened.
She will tell you that her husband can talk to them. She is talking to you.
Noted.
But she will tell you that if your little friend wishes to look through the box, and she'll kind of gesture to the bed, and he can climb up, and she'll begin like taking items out for you to look at.
I think you're good to look at them, Arato.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of move closer to her and where she's taking these out and just look as she's taking them out.
Okay. Sam,
I'd
there was something you wanted to do, though.
I did a history check. I wanted to see if maybe I had heard of anything in the area.
Okay.
Because I do travel. I travel a lot trying to get different raw materials. So I wanted to do. I got an 18.
18. All right. So
You were directly on my notebook.
I would say that with an 18 in history, you have actually heard in some of the valleys, you have heard the tale of a woman that drowned her children in a river.
It was Laura.
And so there's like key elements. It's always a woman. It's always a body of water. Sometimes it's a river. Sometimes it's like a lake or something like that. Sometimes it's in her kitchen with in the bathtub or something like that. It's usually like. And it can be for a number of reasons. It can be that the woman's lover like cheated on her, and so she killed the children. It can be that the children weren't behaving, and she became at her wit's end. It can be that she dabbled in the dark arts and went mad. But you've heard the tale of a woman by a river crying over her drowned children.
Proposition. I say we spend the night near the river. See this.
Oh. I suppose we could. Not the most.
Sure.
What did Jobert want to do?
What now?
What did Jobert want to do?
Gilbert wanted to do a nature check on those racks to see like what kind of place, like where from the river area or forest beyond the river they might have come from.
Okay, so Jobert wanted to do a nature check, but then Arata wanted to do a perception check on them?
Yes.
Okay, so what are your checks?
I
got 21.
That's pretty
It's
good.
the only time I've ever rolled well on roll 20.
Bless you.
Gesundheit.
I get a +2 in a nature check.
And what was the perception?
12.
12, okay. With a 12, as she's going through them, a lot of these things seem to be found. There's like a little bird skull. There's a bunch of like little nuts. There's some brightly colored rocks. There's like a piece of like a shirt or a dress or something with a button still on it. And you also find like there's some feathers and things like that. Really, the thing that stands out is the doll, because everything else looks found and kind of natural. Like they just like went into the woods and went along streams and found cool things and brought them back like little kids do. With a 21 on nature, that's high enough. I think that you would notice that all these little found objects, these natural-looking found objects, have similar kind of like twigs stuck to them, similar like pine needles, similar like dirt. It's not all like uniform, like it came from one place, but you know, it's like the same kind of rock. It's the same kind of dirt. Whereas this doll, the twig, it's kind of embedded in its dress, like it got all tangled up and there was a hole in it and then it got tangled up more. That looks like it's almost skeletal looking, like a little bit. You're like, oh, is this like a long like finger bone or something? It's a twig, but it looks very different. And yeah, so it seems like this doll is from a different place than all these other little found objects.
All right, I will relay that information to the group.
When did they bring the doll back from the river?
It was, Reek will tell you, it was the day after the dam broke. It was 3 days ago the dam broke, and then the next day they went out like they normally do, and when they came in for lunch, Virtue had this doll, and she said she had found it along the creek bed, and we didn't quite like it. But my wife said that she would clean it. Probably gonna throw it away. But you know, it just had an unsavory feel to it. I didn't feel as strongly about it as my wife did. Yeah, and then they didn't come in that evening. They didn't come in that night.
Huh.
You.
I think Nim asks Marna if they can take the doll with them when they search.
That's what I was going to ask, so I think that's a good idea.
She'll tell you that, yes, she doesn't want it in the house, and if it will help you find her children, please take it and keep it or burn it or whatever you need to do.
Gidget, do you have a bag of holding or a receptacle that we can put it in so we're not like constantly touching it?
Gidget will take it and stick it in a random bag that you don't know what it is. But it is a bag of holding.
Okay.
Huh. Well, that's nice.
But it's a real bag of holding, Sam. It's not the nonsense bag of holding where everything fits in it.
Down the dimensions of the bag of holding, so don't you worry.
Can only hold like 500 pounds.
Right? I think the doll is under 500 pounds.
It is.
I think we'll be safe.
Okay.
I'm not trying to put an elephant in this one. Don't worry.
All right.
I have 2 points of clarification. So are bags of holding like pocket dimensions?
Yeah, like essentially, yeah. They're kind of the size of messenger bags. I think they get like 2 feet wide, and then you can fold them, and they go up to like 4 feet, and they look just like kind of messenger bags. And I think there's a face on it, but then it just leads to like a blank space in the astral plane. And you just throw things in there when you want something. You like put your hand in, think of what you want, bam, you got it.
Got it. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
and then the second is on the map.
You can put living creatures in a bag of holding. By the way.
Will they survive? Is there oxygen in there?
There is oxygen for up to 10 minutes divided by each creature you put in there. So if you put 10 creatures in there, they get 1 minute of oxygen. If you put one in, it gets 10 minutes of oxygen, and then they suffocate.
Let's pretend that Nim doesn't know any of this right now.
It is a great way to get rid of things.
Yeah,
let me tell you.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that yet. And then the other thing is on the map, it looks like they're from like east to west, west to east. There's like a little creek that leads to a bigger river.
The little creek that you see that runs east to west, that is what they call their creek, and what used to be Fuller until the dam broke.
River broke.
Yeah.
So the dam is on the river.
Yes, not their creek.
Okay. And my guess is that the river on this map is flowing south to north.
What is it? Darn you,
Because-
roll 20. Sorry.
It kind of looks like that, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's flowing like southeast to northwest. So yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yep. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
So at this point, I think Errata would have wandered kind of closer to the door and peeked out and seen if he could see any tracks or anything that would be out of the norm.
If you're looking out the door, this house. Let's see. Does this work? Okay. Oop. I don't care about the fog of war. I'm just trying to highlight a thing. I can't do it. Anyway, so the little house closest to the circular market area, that is where Marna and Reek live. And so you can kind of see through that down to the creek. And the creek itself isn't too terribly far away. It's like, let's say about 200 feet away. So you can see it, and you can also see the trees on that side. They do look rather dark, and like a little bit older than the trees on this side. So yeah.
And did Arato see foot tracks or footprints?
Perception.
Roll in 18.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot because that's also where the well is. It's like 50 feet away from the riverbed. So you can see a lot of people go at least over there. And then you can see that there are people that seem like they go, like there's foot tracks that go towards the creek and then kind of turn left. If you wanted to like track, you would have to like follow. But you can definitely tell that there is some activity that goes over there.
So I would definitely go ahead and relay this information to the party from the door and let them know that there are tracks or a series of tracks leading down towards the river, and maybe we should go ahead and head that way if we want to try and find these children before it gets too dark.
Okay.
Before Nim leaves, he thanks Marna and Reek in Infernal.
Say thanks, Myrna and Reek, in common.
And Marna and Reek in common will thank you so much, and be like, and you know, if you can find Virtue and Tommy, we'll gladly compensate you for your time, and we can't thank you enough. And Marna kind of like lightly clutches like Nim's shoulder and just says, I believe you can bring them back. I believe you can do this.
I'll try, sister.
And she has like big old like white eyes. Like you can, they almost look filmy, but whereas a lot of tieflings have just full black eyes, she has like full white eyes. A little bit gray in them. Okay, so you guys wanna head on out. Rather than making you continually roll, we're gonna go with that 18, and you can see with that 18, you can see that there are some rocks in the river. They look like they're kind of jutting up, and they're kind of flat. And you also can note that there are like two little there are like footprints from children going there, and it looks like there's just two of them. And you can see in my mind, in the theater of the mind, the map it looks like, oh, there's a very straight shot towards this, but in my mind there is a small track, but it's kind of like a deer track where it runs through the woods. And these woods themselves, like I said, they do look old. They look older than these. And if you kind of stand on the edge of this creek and you just look forward to where you want to go and then look back to where you're coming, it does look like these are bigger. They're darker. There's a kind of like ominous feeling that comes from them. There's even like you swear when you look into them, it feels like their leaves are rustling when there's not a wind, and then the trees on this side of the creek are still.
And that's all things that Arata would be able to perceive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would turn to the party and Joe and Nim and Gidget. It looks like these kids did come to the river. They did cross these stones, but it feels very heavy over there. It feels like someone's looking back at us. We're looking at these trees.
Okay.
What time is it now? What time of day?
You guys got here about 2. You guys have talked for a while, but it's not even like 3. It's still light, although the trees on this side are so overgrown that you will be in a gloom.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys want to try and cross the creek?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea.
See what we find on the other side?
Paddle the donkeys over this side so they don't get spooked.
That's fine.
Good idea.
We'll probably we tie them up right at the riverbed.
Right.
Gidget has to take like a couple minutes and take all of the extra things that she may need out of her donkey. Saddlebags.
I got saddlebags on me if you want to use them.
Oh, I don't want to use you as it's a very kind offer. I may
You were
have
going
to
to
take
say
you.
as a beast of burden.
Yeah.
It's all right. I am 1,200 pounds. I can carry a few more things. It's really fine.
Maybe I'll make you a saddlebag of holding.
Oh, you can do that?
Maybe. Maybe.
I remember
pretty
when I
Put
weighed
us on a
1,200
cracker.
pounds.
How about that?
Wait. You weigh 1,200 pounds?
Sorry, 1,200. I'm not good with numbers.
Right now, Nim looks like they weigh like 160 pounds, like very svelte.
Like, Gidget is like looking Nim up and down, going like, wait a second, where are you hiding all of that?
What were you going to say? What? What? So the donkey is going to pack the stuff for Gidget? Yeah.
Gidget manages to stick everything in her bag of holding and we can go. And she's going to keep like eyeing Nim like, 1,200 pounds, where did that come from?
Nim quickly runs across the creek.
Yeah, you have to kind of
Gidget
go
puts
down.
her goggles.
You have to go down into the creek. It looks like when it was full. When it was full. What? I don't know, nature. What am I doing? But like when there was a good amount of water in it, it was probably like between 4 to 6 feet deep. It was about 10 feet across. And you have to wade through about a foot of water at this point, about 3 feet across. So you do get damp and splash. And you kind of go down, and it's only like a slight depression, but when you get to the bottom, it feels cold. And then when you come up, that coldness is obviously there. Like the temperature has to have dropped like 20 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius, since you crossed the creek.
Dang.
I'm just going to clomp on through that water.
And it's how deep again?
It's like a foot deep.
A foot. Okay. So it would kind of come up to like almost my waist.
I mean, I could give you a boost.
You
Yeah,
don't
can I-
have. You can if you
I just
want,
hoist down up.
but there are flat rocks that if you go onto these flat rocks, you can avoid needing to wade through that water.
Okay. I think I'll go ahead and walk across the flat rocks.
Gidget will as well.
No takers then.
Don't worry, eventually
I'll
it'll
ride.
All right.
All right.
Cross already?
Yes, but
That's right.
But I guess when
Well,
you say
we're
that,
back.
they shout that they'll ride, and then they wait for you to cross, and then they hop up on you.
All right then.
But I don't get up on you. I just like
Wait.
I can't quite get up there.
I guess I could sort of kneel down like a camel.
And I just pat you again and say, "It's okay, donkey. Never mind."
Phew.
So mean.
What?
So mean. And so you do this, and it's humorous and it's lighthearted. And then you look across the river and you see there's two little human boys, twins, and they're staring at you from the other side of the creek from the town. You did not hear them approach, and they're both kind of dirty and they're holding hands, and they just shout at you, "Watch out for the witch! She'll
There's a
kill
witch?
you!" And then they stare at you.
Who said that?
Oh,
I
look.
kind of want to cast Ray of Frost at them because they startle me.
You can. You can
Okay.
cast Ray of Frost at these small children. You're almost...
Acting almost.
It's 1d8.
Roll to hit. I think it's a ranged attack for Ray of Frost.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Gonna fucking
Yeah.
kill these kids.
5.
And then
Oh wait, roll the hit. Hold on. I rolled the wrong die.
You're gonna fucking kill these kids.
I killed them. They probably
17.
got like one hit.
Yeah, that hits those kids. Roll that damage.
Oh, we're gonna kill these children.
You're gonna kill these
You need
children.
to say if it's non-lethal. Shit.
It's an 8?
Yeah.
All right.
They have 5 hit points.
They have 5 hit points. But you want... I'm gonna... Because I don't... Well, okay.
Can I roll disadvantage? Because I feel bad now.
Evan, do you want Nim to be a murderer? I'm gonna let you tell
No,
me.
I don't. I don't. I just kind of, they startle me and they look
Okay.
scary as hell.
Then I'm gonna say that that's to hit both of them, and we're gonna evenly divide those 8 points of damage to these children, who have 5
So
hit
they have
points
one
each. So yeah, you get startled by these creepy kids telling you this witch is gonna kill you, and you fire off a shot, and they both like squeak, and you hit them, and this frost like goes up their body, and for a second they're just like paralyzed, and then they like turn painstakingly, like cracking the ice around them, and start calling for their mom, and like hobble slowly away because you reduce their speed to like 10 or something like that.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
Fairy Frost is a great cantrip.
Oh, that's gonna come back and bite us right in the butt.
Should we offer to heal them? Because I can.
no.
No.
I'm still real freaked out.
I think we should just go and forget.
Be like, do you want a healing potion? I got a healing potion.
Oh, those kids are well, they're not gone because like I said, they're super slow now. But they're like crying and going. What's that?
I can chuck it. I can just throw a healing potion to it. I don't think they're gonna catch it.
Do you want a ranged attack, a healing potion?
Don't waste one. We'll just I'll just charm the people and convince the children that they are crazy.
That's fine. We can
Just
eventually.
gaslight the children.
Yeah, I'm chaotic neutral, so it kind of fits, you know.
Okay.
You can hear that there's some commotion going on back in the town. Like I said, it's like a good 200 feet back, and so you can kind of hear that like someone's like calling, and then it sounds like they're calling louder. Like maybe there's some concern about some kids went missing, and now some kids are crying in pain.
Must be the witch. And Nam turns around and heads the direction they were going.
Okay.
Quickly.
Just a fast saunter.
I won't do that again, guys, promise. Well.
She's a
Maybe.
Alright. So you can head into this path. As you do, you find yourself in this dark, kind of gloomy forest. Arado, very good with forest, fortunately, is able to lead you forward. And after another like about 200 feet, you see, I hate it so much, you see this glade, and within it are the ruins of an old home. The door, it's covered in winding vines of ivy and moss, and it has a window towards the side. And strangely enough, there is a candle burning low in that window. The door is ajar, and you can hear a sob coming from the house. Just like one kind of choked back.
You all hear the sob.
Yeah, that was.
Who wouldn't hear that?
Gidget's like, I'm going in. And goes up and knocks on the door.
There's also,
unless somebody stops her.
There's also a wide beam across the entry. You can, if you climb over the beam and knock on the door, it's ajar and it'll.
Joe will quickly follow Gidget to make sure Gidget's not alone.
I would
Guess
go
we'll hop over that beam.
I'd go around to the window, sneak around and peek in while Gidget's going up to the door.
Okay.
And I will stand there with the heart hook at the ready.
When Arado goes to the window, it's a dirty, cracked window, actual glass, and there is a candle just kind of burning low, and you can see that the house looks absolutely dilapidated, absolutely falling apart. You see that there's some beams in there. It looks like there's maybe like a little bit of light coming from that open area. You also, it's very dirty. So you think that you see maybe some furniture in the corners. Maybe they're like chests or desks or beds or something. It's hard to see from the outside.
Is it dark inside?
It's quite dark inside. It is loosely illuminated by this candle that's just burning and flickering, and there is like a hole in the roof from where a beam has fallen down, just maybe old age, and so there's like a little bit of light, but like I said, it's quite gloomy at this part. This is an open glade, so there's not trees directly overhead, but the trees themselves look like they've gotten even taller. Like maybe when you were coming into town, the maximum height of the trees might have been like 50, 60 feet across the river. They're 100. Now they look like they're above 100 feet tall, really kind of blocking out the light. And it even feels like the quality of the light in this glade is different. Not just that you're underneath a canopy, but almost as though the light doesn't shine down here.
Gotcha.
I've got some torches.
I think I can light the light.
I mean, you can see in. It's just, there's just one candle.
Since I can't see anything really through the window, I think I would probably go back around the front.
Okay.
I think I will cast Thaumaturgy on the flame to make it burn brighter for 1 minute.
Okay. Yeah, you do. And when you cast that magic, it actually flares. Just, there's a tiny little flame, and you expected it to be, like that big, and instead it almost goes like whoosh, and it's burning brightly, and then it kind of coalesces into something still bigger than a candle should be able to sustain. And if you notice, the wick itself, not the wick, the wax itself doesn't seem to be burning. You haven't damaged the candle. You've just made the flame brighter temporarily.
Does that help illuminate the interior?
It does, and you can tell that the furniture in here are 3 beds, 1 large, 2 smaller. There's a fireplace in the corner. There's a tipped-over desk. And it also looks like there were some shelves with like some dining implements, kind of pewter bowls and cups and things like that. No full sets. Things look like they're scattered around. They've been dented. They're old. There's heavy dust over everything.
So has Gidget already gone in, or she opened the door?
So she's opened the door, and if we can kind of see a little bit more now, is the desk in a kind of shadowed area?
I would say it's like a roughly circular place. Like it's
Right.
yeah. And so I would say that you enter in the door. The window is to the left. The fireplace is towards the right. The writing desk is between the fireplace and you. And then across from you is like a little table you might sit at to eat. And then like the two beds. And then closest to you is the large bed.
Okay.
Kind of almost underneath that window.
Okay. What was underneath the window? The bed?
The large bed.
The large bed. So Gidget's gonna Gidget's gonna walk in and kind of head towards the desk if she can.
Yeah, she can.
And the reason why I was asking is if I needed a little bit, because if the candle was far enough away that, it helped and it didn't necessarily give up a lot of light, I was going to create a light myself.
I mean, it helps, but it's still quite dim in there.
Okay, so she's going to reach into one of her bags and pull out a small, what looks like a bee, like a little mechanical bee, and she's going to wind it up, and then she's going to touch it, and it's going to start shedding bright light in a 5-foot radius. And then after she winds it up, she's going to release it into the air, and it's going to follow her over.
It's adorable. I love it.
So there's this little bee following Gidget, buzzing through the air.
And it does do a good job of illuminating this room more, because the room itself, it's not terribly big. Maybe like 30 feet at the not even 30, like 20 feet at the widest.
Was seeing the light, can we see that from being outside the door? Like this new illumination?
Yeah.
It's pretty bright. Yeah, it's considered a bright light within 5 foot, and then a dim light within 10 feet for an additional 10 foot. So it's pretty bright.
Mm-hmm. And between that and the newly augmented candle, it's actually quite well illuminated, because the candle had basically been a similar thing where it was like bright light for 5 feet and then dim light for 10, and now it's only a 20-foot wide room, so you're pretty good.
So does it illuminate like the outside though? It's still like what, 4 p.m., 3 or 4 p.m.
Yeah. It doesn't do anything to the kind of gloom around you, but you can see better inside at least.
So Joe's gonna walk through the door with Gidget.
Give me a little strength check to knock over that beam. Can't go through that. There's a beam in front of the door.
Oh. I gotta get that beam away.
Yeah, you gotta put it away. Gidget just climbed over it because she's a wee creature. But there's a big old... Yeah.
Sorry.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, you gotta shove it away.
It's not a support beam of any kind. House not gonna crumble down if I move this.
It must not have been, as it had fallen from the house, and the house is still standing, so...
Alright, so I'm gonna try to kick it with my front hooves.
Yeah, you get that out of the way. Give me a strength check.
Oh, wait, what am I doing? I was gonna do the roll thing. Alright, let me figure out. This is 16!
Oh, okay, yeah. You very easily, like, smash that beam out of your way.
Alright then. Now I'm gonna, like, crouch down and try to get in.
Okay.
Sydney, did we ever agree on that magic boomerang?
I said you could have that magic boomerang if you wanted it.
Okay.
Because
What
everyone
was it
has
called?
a
The
magic...
boomerang of storms or
The storm boomerang?
storm boomerang?
All right. I'm just like gonna kind of clutch that like this.
Okay. And then you can move in as well. So yeah.
And I'm gonna call out, Virtue? Tammy?
There's
In
a
here?
there's a little bit of an echo in there when you hear it.
Okay.
I guess while I'm over at the desk, I'd like to do an investigation and see if I can find anything.
Yeah, you can give me an investigation.
And while Sam or Gidget is looking at the inside, I want to do a check on the outside to see if I see any tracks around the building.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Okay. So a dirty 20 near the desk. It looks like this is a really old building. So you do find some organic material, like some paper and some pens and some inkwells and things like that. But they look like they're smashed. They look like they're moldy. There's nothing you can really make out from them. But you do find a small box, a ring box, and inside of that box is a tarnished wedding ring.
Does it seem like it has anything like I guess can I do like an Arcana check on it to see if it has any like magic on it?
You can. How do you hold? Do you just like open the box and like just hold the whole thing, or like what do you do?
Yeah, I would probably open the box and then bring my goggles down and start like clicking through several of the different lenses that I have, and then just do an Arcana check on it with the ring in the box.
Okay.
24.
All right. With a 24, you're not compelled, like forced to, but you as you kind of tap into your magical abilities and use it to reach out towards this object, you feel the need to hold it in your hand, to take it out of that box. And that does feel magical to you, that need to do so.
Do I feel do I actually feel like I need to do it? Like this is something I have to do, or is it something I recognize as a magical pull?
Like, you recognize it as a magical pull. You don't feel compelled. You don't have to add up game. You don't have to do a wisdom check or anything like that. You just,
okay.
when you kind of touch it with your own magical ability, you feel like something kind of almost like touch back at you, and it's telling you to hold it.
Okay. If that's the case, then what Gidget would probably do is, without actually explaining to the party what's happening, because she's kind of hyper-focused, she's going to immediately sit down, just on the dirty floor, put the ring down, and start going through a bag, and she's going to find... She's going to take out 3 stakes and kind of stick them in the floor around it, and then take and kind of make a makeshift circle around it with some rope, and then is going to ritually cast Identify.
Okay.
So she'll be there for a little bit.
All right. So you see this happen. Phil, you said you wanted to do something?
Yeah, I wanted to do a check outside for tracks, but I rolled.
What'd you roll?
A 9.
Here it's difficult. The glade itself, it's been cleared away from the trees and everything, but it is overgrown. Whereas in the forest, there had been broken twigs and things like that allowed you to find this pathway through the forest. Here, there's kind of like a lot of long grass, which bends easier in the wind and and springs back to life a little bit easier. Though even with a 9, even with a 9, you can tell that there is a hand there. I want you to see this thing, so I'm gonna. You can tell that there is a handprint in the mud on the outside of the house. Like, this house is kind of a wattle and daub setup, so there is mud that makes the walls, and you can see that there's a small child-size hand, as though someone went under that beam and braced themselves as they went in.
And
It's quite obvious. So,
okay. So the children have been, like, we're here 3 days after the dam broke, right?
They were here the day after the dam broke.
Okay. How long ago did the dam break?
The dam broke 3 days ago, so the children were here 2 days ago.
So I'll holler out to, I guess Nim would probably be the closest to me. Or Joe.
I'm still standing at the door, scared, with the heart hook. So I'm just keeping an eye out for any movement in the forest.
Okay, so I'd probably do a loud whisper to Nim, since Nim would be the closest to me, letting them know that I found this handprint and the children in fact were here.
My guess is that this is where they found the doll.
I think you're right.
Oh, Gidget's concentrating. Once Gidget's done, I'll ask her to take out the doll to see if it reacts in any type of way.
Oh, could have done that. Yeah, sorry. This is going to be a bit.
Nope, it's okay.
It takes about 10 minutes to cast this, so.
Yep.
So does Nim take out the doll?
I have the doll.
Oh, you have
It's in the bag of holding. Yeah.
All right. What is Jobert doing?
Jobert is clutching her boomerang.
Guess she is.
It's the smallest of her weapons, and she's in close quarters. And is sort of like looking over Gidget in a sort of protective manner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing she's got like almost her like hoof on one side, hoof on the other, making sure no one can get to this wee person. Just like
Gidget hasn't realized it at all.
hooves like pillars of safety on either side of the wee one.
Are you looking around at all, or are you on high alert?
Like nervously.
Okay, did you want to roll a check for that, or you just want to be nervous?
I guess I could roll perception or investigation. What do you think in this situation?
If you're
perception, I'm not like going through stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll roll for some perception. And that's with the wisdom, so that's +2. Now, okay, and roll. Oh, I did real bad.
Whoop. Yeah. What'd you get?
I got a 4.
You got a 4 there.
My modifier, so I don't know jack.
Well,
concentrating on, Gidget here.
Yeah. And you're nervous, so you keep thinking you see things moving out of the corner of your eye and just whipping around.
Might be a bug or something. I don't want bugs. Bugs are nasty.
Yeah. Your little tail's flicking.
Can Nim check to see if there's any oddness outside, like in the forest, or if there's anything, I don't know, approaching, or...
Yeah, do you want to do a perception check?
Sure. What would that be?
Wisdom, is it?
Oh, wisdom. Yeah. I got a A 6 plus 2, so an 8.
Neat. You're not catching too terribly much, but you do notice that because you're kind of looking out into it, and it's fairly obvious. You do notice that there is a fog out in the forest, and you kind of see that it's like north of you, it's east of you, it's west of you. Just like a low-lying forest fog out there underneath the trees.
Are there, would they see any other paths leading away from the glade?
We're not with that roll.
Okay. I must be real scared or something.
Yeah, Nim is just like, gosh, I wish I were big again.
I wish I were big again.
Is that how I become big again? I wish I were big.
That's what I say to myself in times of terror.
I wish I were big again. Too bad Gidget is like super like involved in what she's doing, because I feel like otherwise she would have been like, what was that?
Alright, so I'm gonna say at this time, the 10 minutes pass. That's a good amount of time to be paranoid, I think. Just 10 minutes of just like looking at like fog slowly trickle closer and jumping at shadows and wondering if children got eaten by a house. And at that time, the identify spell, it coalesces. And as it had been working, you kind of felt like this pressure in your chest, as almost as though like something were kind of inflating underneath your skin.
Ooh.
Oh, little cat. and and I want you to give me a wisdom saving throw. But I'm gonna have it because you're using a spell, so it's a DC 9.
I rolled a 13.
All right, so yeah. So when the identify spell goes off, you feel like that bubble in your chest kind of burst, and for a second, this wave of guilt rolls over you, and you can feel that it's incredibly strong and it's coming from the ring, and that if you weren't protected by your own magic, your own rituals, then it perhaps could have consumed you. And you see before your eyes, you see this dark-haired woman, young in years, clad all in white. You're not in the hut when you see her. You know you're in the hut, but she's not in the hut. It's just she's kind of turning in the street. She looks fresh and young. And then the vision actually comes into the hut where you're in, and you see this same woman. She's embracing a young man at the door, and he's leaving. The rising sun is painting the sky a dark red, and you see that there are 2 children playing in this room. Then you see that same woman over the bed, the double bed, just bent over in grief, ripping a letter to shreds. And then you see that same man that you saw the woman embrace, and you see a woman, and it's not that first woman. It's not the woman in white. And those 2, the man and the second woman, are holding the children, and they're clutching their hands, and all of them are looking as that dark-haired woman is screaming from the window of a mule-drawn wagon with iron bars over the window. And then the ring cracks, and you don't see anything else.
What's going on, Gidget?
Oh,
Y'all right there?
That was spooky.
What'd you get?
There was a vision associated in the ring, and it told me about the woman who got taken away. She lived here with a man, and basically I'm going to reiterate that entire story to anybody who's listening.
So can we hear her being outside?
Are you being loud enough that people can hear you outside? Because you can kind of turn
Probably.
around, and if you look underneath Jobert, you can see Nim in the doorway, and if Arado is still by the door, you can see him too.
Yeah, if I'd probably be like, oh, that was weird. And then Jobert says something, and I go, and then I just tell everybody the story.
Okay.
Be like, but I think whatever this was, the woman who was here, who lived here, she was taken away. And I think the man and the man that she had, the man who had the affair may have tried to keep the children away from her. So she must have went crazy. And grief and guilt.
Why would she be guilty if they were the ones, doing the stuff?
Yeah, well, I could try to cast the Identify spell on the doll and see if I get something similar.
Let's try that in a minute.
Okay.
Could Nim roll a history check to see if that type of being carted away in an iron bar cage, if it has some significance in the area or in history or something like that?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I think Gidget's going to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 17 plus 6.
Very nice.
All right.
You got the answer.
So you think it's not something that happens as often anymore, but perhaps an older creature might know that sometime in the past, well over 100 years ago, when people thought that someone was insane, they could be taken away, and it could be just, and it wasn't required for you to prove it very hard, especially if that person didn't have a lot of power or money, if they were bothering someone, if they could be taken away and declared insane. So, but it's
would
not
I
a
know
common
where they would be taken to?
You guys are in sort of a rural area, but you do know that a fair ways down the road, probably closer to 25, 30 miles, there is a larger town. It's not a city because it's not big, but there are, several thousand residents there rather than maybe a couple hundred. So whoever this was, if they might be taken to a large town, or they might be taken to a religious order that thought that they could cure them or something like that. And if it's a religious order, there are monasteries and hermitage, remote ones, but it would kind of just depend. So a place of authority and power you could take them to where they wouldn't bother anyone anymore.
Let's do your thing, Gidget, on the doll.
Okay. So...
Sam, you did an investigation check originally, correct?
Yes.
Do you remember what that investigation check was? It was quite high, I believe.
Yeah, I think I got a dirty 20.
Yeah. As you guys are talking this over, thinking this out, you do also notice that under the splintered remains of a chair, you see a leather-bound journal.
Ooh.
Is it damaged?
Yeah, it looks like it's quite old and scuffed. It looks like that the pages are wobbly, so it's waterlogged.
If I grab that, what I will probably do is I will probably hand this to Nim and see if they can read it while I work on recasting Identify as a Ritual. This time with a slightly different set of tools. But
You grab that, and for a second you're just frozen in fear. Just the most terrifying thing that's ever happened to you, that kind of horror, just washes over you. And then
me or Nim?
You, because you grabbed it first.
Me? Is it worse than when I was possessed?
Well, you weren't possessed. You were able to keep possession at bay. So you kind of you felt some emotions because they were very, 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 very strong. But you could step away from them. You were removed from them. It was more like being empathetic than being consumed. And this is the same kind of effect. You feel empathetic. You feel fear, but it doesn't. And just for like a split second, it does paralyze you, and then you can move on.
Okay.
While they're doing this, since I am still outside, I kind of want to walk around the perimeter and see if I see anything like that's really strange or stands out to me.
Okay. Perception check me.
Those are awful.
No, you can do it.
I got a 9.
Okay. So yeah, you're not doing as well as you'd want. And so you can see that fog in the distant forest. You notice that it's stronger towards the southeast. And you do also, from that direction, notice a rustling somewhere in the forest, in the undergrowth. You don't know what it is, but it must be large if you notice it, especially with it how jumpy you are.
So I think I will probably just holler to everybody that there's some kind of rustling in the woods.
Joe, so we can hear this from inside, yeah?
Yep.
All right. So Joe will head out then to take a peek.
Okay.
Out to where join Arato.
Okay. So you want to do a perception check?
Sure.
Sure, there.
Oh, sure. Perception. It would be perception's wisdom, correct?
Yes, it's wisdom.
Yeah. Okay. Huh. Cool. I got nothing.
What'd you roll?
3.
I rolled a 3. I got my one high roll.
All right. Well, yeah, you don't even see that rustling.
I don't see it. I don't see it, Arato. Just trees and fog, really. Is there something specific out here you want me to pay attention to?
It was in the southeast.
Yep.
Where the fog,
Yep.
where the fog is really dense. There was some kind of rustling over that way.
Rustling towards. I guess I'll turn to the southeast and look where Rato's pointing.
Okay, you can roll perception at advantage since someone is helping you. Maybe you guys will see it.
First one. Oh, I got a 20 and I get an advantage. Let me roll again.
Maybe you'll get that nat 20. Nope, dirty 20 it is.
20.
Yay!
Oh, now I see this.
Yeah. Because he's pointing it out. You notice, you look real hard, you're focused in on that area, and what you see it's not a large rustling, and you instead see that the fog is moving, but you notice that it kind of darts in a direction. Like just one little point kind of darts out, and that draws your eye down to where you can see an overgrown path leading into the forest. And you also notice, because you're just like, oh, there's things down there, things are happening around us. You notice that in the undergrowth is a giant centipede scuttling away.
Ooh.
Ew, gross.
You should get it.
And I'm still in the hut with Gidget,
Yep.
Well,
freaking out because Gidget is writhing in pain.
No, she's not in pain. No. It was just a brief moment of fear.
Oh, okay. So am I holding the journal now?
Yeah, and with the second you grab it, you also feel that fear. It almost reminds you of just kind of the fear you feel about not being able to turn back again. And then it's over.
Am I able to read it?
You can give me an investigation check to see how much you can read.
9 plus 4, so 13.
13. It is quite badly damaged. But you go through it as carefully as you can, and you do catch some repeated words, like the ink has basically run around, but you see certain words so often that you start to be able to piece them together, and those words are my children. Every few pages has something with my children on them. My children show up fairly often in this journal.
So Nim goes to the fireplace and scoops up a little bit of soot and does a pinch of salt out of their pouch, and they cast Comprehend Languages. Oh, wait. Is it that I can't read it because of the language or because it's damaged?
Because it's damaged, not the language. It's in common.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I misunderstood.
Yeah, don't
Okay,
waste a
never
spell. Yeah, don't waste a spell.
mind. Yeah.
It's just
children.
very badly damaged, and it's even kind of gotten to the point where some cheap paper gets brittle in time, and so this has to be an old book, not like a week or a month or something, but years and years and years old.
Okay. Hey, Gidget, can you put this in the pack with the doll? Or in the bag of holding, I'm sorry.
Yeah, definitely can do that.
Just in case they're tied together. And maybe the broken pieces of the ring, just in case.
Yeah. Am I able to get anything from the identify spell for the doll?
When you cast Identify on this doll, you don't get the same feeling you got from the ring. But what you kind of get is this pull in your mind. And you kind of get this pull in your mind, like there's something that you're supposed to be going towards, and as you focus on it, leaving the little doll between the stakes and the rope, just kind of staring at its blank porcelain face, you kind of feel like a tension mounting in you, trying to figure out what this doll is trying to tell you. And as the 10 minutes pass and the spell fully activates, the doll falls sideways. It falls so that one of its little arms had gotten thrown out and is pointing towards the bed.
Which bed?
Towards one of the children's bed.
Okay.
Cat butt.
She looks above the giant cat.
It's like, help.
Such a
I love you,
creature.
but
She wants you to be safe.
so I will. I'm going to pick the doll up and walk towards the bed that it was pointing at.
and see if I can get an idea of where I'm supposed to look, and if not, just do an investigation.
You can give me an investigation check at advantage.
Let's see. 19.
Yes. You kind of poke around in that general area, and as you feel underneath the mat, and as you feel along this lumpy, moldy feeling bed, your hand touches something kind of hard, and you find a corn husk doll, also faceless. And when you pull that out, the loss that you had felt in holding that first porcelain doll just deepens, and you can kind of feel it like throb in your heart.
Can I try to, with the residual effects of the spell, can I try to do like an Arcana check on the corn husk doll and see if I can get anything just kind of residually from it?
Sure.
17.
You with a 17, you feel like, whereas the porcelain doll had kind of a residual magic on it, this doll is housing magic within it, but it's buried.
Anything, Gidget?
So this doll pointed to this doll. There's a greater sense of loss, and there is a spell on this doll.
It also looks quite well preserved.
Like it's
It's
new?
not like it's new, but like it's only like a couple of years old.
So
Gotcha.
It looks like it's been well loved and well used, but
right.
So it might not belong to someone that used to live in this hut.
Maybe. I'm going to go ahead and just straight cast Identify on the corn husk doll. So you'll see Gidget like pull out like a small mirror and set it and a pair of pliers and like basically kind of use the mirror and the pliers to cast Identify on the doll directly instead of trying to do it as a ritual.
Okay. So you cast Identify. You cast Identify on this doll, and what you see is a river with fog rising up around it, and it approaches you, and the fog parts, and the island looks gray and dead, as though all the trees are withered skeletons. And for a second it looks like there are just hundreds of little eyes on the island watching you. And then you notice that those eyes belong to dolls. That the island is covered in dolls.
Sweet!
And you feel a drum beat in your chest, and you feel the dolls on the island pulsing as though they have a heartbeat, or that they are a heartbeat. And you get an image of an especially large tree, and underneath it, you see a stone statue of a woman crying. But the doll does not break. The doll remains whole. And you feel like, even with Identify, there is something within that doll. But you feel like what is within that doll is at that island.
Cool. I'm going to relay this information to Nim and be like, and do I get and go outside and see if I can, like, do I get a pool anywhere, or just the vision?
You get that vision.
Okay. And be like, this is fantastically creepy. But there is a tree someplace with a stone statue of a woman crying, and it is connected to this doll.
Did she walk outside and say this?
No.
At the moment, we're still inside.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But when we get back outside, I will definitely tell both of you.
Okay, yeah, maybe we should probably go find out what the other two are doing and relay that.
Okay.
Okay. If you do that, you can see the two of them facing the woods towards the southeast, and they're both looking real hard, and Joe Bird is just like, oh dear there.
Oh, sure. Well, you guys notice this pathway over here? Whole pathway leading over there.
I didn't.
Because of the fog.
Should we follow the pathway?
But wait, what were you looking at there?
Oh, so the creepy doll? The creepy doll?
That is a creepy looking doll.
Well, the first creepy doll pointed to the other creepy doll.
Oh, that's even creepier.
Yep. And then this creepy doll showed me that there's an island with more creepy dolls.
More dolls?
And a statue of a crying woman.
Oh.
Great.
Well, at least she's not a doll, I guess.
I mean, is a statue just a large doll made out of stone?
I suppose. Also, that corn husk one. Any corn on it, or not? No.
I wouldn't eat it.
Yeah. Okay.
It looks like it's just husk,
That's pitiful.
but I don't really
Molly?
know what donkeys eat. So
Maybe. Mule. Corn's fine. Half donkey, sort of.
But yeah, so I've got the journal, both dolls and the ring in the bag. So if we want to go down this path, I am all for that.
let's do that.
All right.
So when the centipede came out, did I see that or just Joe?
I think it was just Joe. And it didn't come out, it's within the forest, and it was actually like scuttling away. So, but it was real big.
Did you guys see anything out here?
Saw a big old centipede in the fog. Gross looking.
I just seen fog and rustling. I didn't see any centipede.
I hate centipedes.
Well, that's where that Joe was going to point at where the pathway is over there. That's where the pathway is.
Let's go down it.
All right,
Lead the way, Joe.
Alrighty, and Joe's going to now take out put the boomerang one hand, sword it in the other.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
anyone out there? No.
I'm gonna go ahead and ready my rapier just because
Right.
of Joe doing.
See, socially, it's acceptable if you want to hop on board because I offered. It's just
I think I will. Go
Okay.
ahead and
do it. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and ready firebolt within the heart hook, and just have it ready as we walk because I don't like centipedes.
Fair enough.
Fair enough there.
I'm gonna go ahead and take out one of my other little clockworks after I put the bee away. It's gonna sit on my head.
Okay. Is it a specific one? Is it just another bee?
Nope, it's a spider.
Oh, a little spider in your head. Very cute.
Yep, a little clockwork spider just sitting on my head.
All right. Okay. So what is your marching order into this foggy, dark forest?
Joe first.
Joe.
I'm on Joe.
Joe plus Arado.
I'll go next.
Okay.
And I will bring up the rear,
All
Yeah.
right.
making sure
Joe
that
Dorado first, I guess. Yeah.
All right. So, you guys head down into this path. Joe leading you through the undergrowth, all on kind of hyper alert, and so you can hear like the rustling and the scuttling around, and it gets very dark at this point. It was just kind of a gloom, but now it almost feels like it's approaching nighttime. And you guys are creeping forward as steadily as you can through this gloom. When suddenly a part of the fog darts out, and you hear this cry like a baby crying, and it will rush over at Jobert, attempting to shock you as this will-o-wisp coalesces out of the forest. That's a 19 to hit, but it doesn't hit. Right?
Because somebody has an AC of 20.
Well, but I'm not holding my shield, so it does.
Ah.
Do I also get hit?
Because I'm not holding my shield, and when I don't hold my shield, it's only an armor class of 18.
All right, so this shocks you,
Yep.
and you feel lightning course around you. You take 9 points of lightning damage. Arado, you can give me a saving throw to see if you can avoid being shocked while on her. Let's say it's a 12.
15.
15. All right, you manage to kind of tumble off of her as it hits, and we can go into initiative.
At 16.
What's my dexterity?
Out of 12.
12.
18.
18.
and 11.
All right. So, up first. Oh. Oh, goodness. Nice.
That's promising.
Still alive. Okay. This little will-o-wisp will attempt to shock you, and you can hear it cry out again. Not so much sounding like a baby, but a young child crying. Who do I want to hit? Where's my D4s, yo? Get on up here. I have too many dice. Okay. Oh, I can't use my death dice on you guys. I don't want you to die. I get so many D20s with that dice. Alright. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, it goes for Gidget this time. It actually darts through Jobert as though she is not even there, and then appears in Gidget's space to shock her. Alright, but you manage to dodge out of the way. It rolled a 9. You feel the lightning crackle by it. And now it's Gidget's turn, actually.
Oh, okay, sweet. So Gidget is.
I hear a heartbeat. Hold on.
Is there a heartbeat? It's coming for you, Barbara.
Okay, I don't hear it anymore.
Okay, good.
So Gidget is going to grab her. She is going to. She's gonna. How close is it within melee range of me?
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to quickly take the spider and throw my spider at it.
Mm-hmm.
And as I toss it, I'm going to cast poison spray, and I want the poison spray to come out of its legs like I'm throwing it like a frisbee.
Awesome. All right, so you roll to hit.
Yeah, give me a second. I just want to make sure I've got everything right for poison spray. I need a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Is the damage only poison?
Yeah.
All right. So you hit it, and this poison just goes through it. Completely no damage.
Completely no damage? Okay, so when I see that, I'm going to yell out to everybody, immune to poison.
It is indeed.
And then I'm going to use a bonus action and cast Arcane Weapon on my hand axe.
Okay, cool. So it what does it do?
That's it. I'm just casting it on there so that I can use it next round.
Does it become like a magical item, or like energy
Yeah,
crackles over it?
Yeah, so it becomes a magical item, and it will now do, I'm just going to roll for it. So 2, it will now do additional cold damage.
Okay, cool. All right. Up next is Arado.
How far away am I?
Gidget was like right behind you, so you're within like 5 or so feet. It's kind of difficult terrain because you're all together, and you kind of flipped off into the forest, and as you kind of pick yourself up with your rapier out, figuring out what you're going to do, you notice that there is a centipede like directly next to you, like within a foot. It's much bigger than you. Its little mandibles like.
Well, I think that since it's right next to me, is there anybody else beside me?
Yeah, like Joe is right there.
Okay. So just so like, because I'm not sure how this works, the sneak attack ability. So it says if.
Yeah, you can do extra damage if you have an ally within 5 feet. So yeah, you can roll your sneak attack damage.
Perfect. So what I would probably do is attack with my sneak attack.
Mm-hmm. Well, you do both. You roll your roll to hit first to see if you hit this centipede.
19 plus
Yes.
dex, 24.
Yeah, it'll definitely hit. And then you roll damage. So first off, it's a rapier, you said?
Yes.
So you roll rapier damage. I want to say that's a D8. And then you roll sneak attack damage, which is 2d6 at level 2?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you roll both of those.
Okay. So I got a 1 on my D8 plus 3
Mm-hmm.
plus 4, and then 2d6. So I got a 5 and a 3. So I got 12 damage.
Okay, 12 damage against this dude. Yeah, you like just skewer this giant centipede. Just like rip it to pieces. That is a dead centipede.
Very nice.
All right.
Do not fuck with Arato.
Joe sees this tiny little tree man just like rip a centipede in half, essentially. This centipede was like almost as long as you are and was like standing as tall as Arato, and he has murdered it. It's Joe's turn now.
It's my turn now?
Yeah, it's y'all's turn now.
Alright then, I want to take my boomerang and hit that damn thing that attacked me.
Yep. You hit that gosh darn thing.
I want to boomerang it.
Boomerang it.
Just want to boomerang the crap out of that.
Alright, roll to hit then.
Alright then. Pew! This is going to be yeah, sorry, noises.
It's beautiful.
I assume this is using my dexterity?
If you're throwing, yeah, should be, yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be good.
Not good. 10.
A 10, you say. At the will-o-wisp?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that goes wide. Yeah, does that come back though? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a boomerang.
All right, so you didn't lose it,
Yeah, that's good.
but that will-o-wisp just like easily dodges it.
Can I kick it?
Do you
Can
have
I
it?
do it?
Do you
I
have?
don't think I have multi-attack unless at this level, I don't think I have a...
I don't think you have that multi-attack yet there.
No, I have to expend an action surge, but I don't want to do that yet. I don't want to waste it on a flippin' will-o'-the-wisp.
Fair enough. So you just go pew, and the will-o'-wisp goes woo.
Got it back.
And then it goes because it's a boomerang. And it's Nim's turn now.
Nim is going to. So when Jobert was electrocuted by the will-o'-the-wisp, would it have, like, were there like twigs on the ground around their feet?
Yeah.
That would have been touched by the lightning?
No, it's kind of like more of a crackle on it. It
Gotcha.
didn't really get in the area around it.
Okay. So I am going to cast Firebolt that I've had prepared at the will-o'-the-wisp. So that is a 16. Do I add a modifier?
Did you just roll a straight 16?
Yeah.
You add, I think, at this level, it's +5 to your spell. Well, it's your spellcasting modifier plus your proficiency.
It's +4.
Okay. So, yeah.
So, like, my modifier is +4 for spellcasting.
Okay, then, yeah. So it's 19, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And you cast fire at it. Roll your fire damage.
1d10. This is, I forget which one it is. Oh, yeah. 5.
5 points of damage. All right. So you hit this little darting pixie from hell, and you see it connect. It tries to dodge out of the way, doesn't quite make it, but you see it connect. But it does not look as badly hurt by this fire as you would like it to. But it does take damage. It wobbles a little bit. Hurt.
Okay.
Yes.
Do will-o'-the-wisps talk?
Yeah. They can make, well, I guess, yes. I just said it. Yeah, they know languages.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah. So Arata wouldn't be able to see this, but I think Gidget, Nim, and Jobert could see that, whereas Arata tumbled to the right-hand side to avoid getting shocked by this will-o'-wisp. On this other side of the path, you see a giant centipede rear up out of the darkness, its little legs up, its mandibles open, and it hisses at you, but it doesn't like move forward to attack any of you, just like undulates on the side of the path. And that's all it does. And then it's the will-o'-wisp turn, which I'm just going to let it choose who it hits. But it really wants to go after Gidget. Gidget has just angered it for some reason. And
I'm a delight.
yeah. And I believe it says it, and then it says in a small childlike voice, "She should have taken you." And yeah, that's a 22 to hit.
Rude.
Please enjoy those 9 points of lightning damage.
It's itty bitty too.
All right.
All right. And it is your turn. You can respond back.
And I will.
Kill it.
And I would like to immediately use my hand axe on it. So roll to attack. Does a 15 hit?
No.
Damn it.
Damn.
Will-O-Wisp are surprisingly difficult.
How does it have an AC?
Yeah, you swung to hit, and it's not so much that it took that blow and shrugged it off or deflected. It is just fast fudging heck. It's just like darting places, and it's hard to get a bead on it. It's so fast. It's quite dexterous. Alright, so you don't have any bonus actions or anything, Sam?
No, it's too early. I
Alright.
don't have any bonus actions.
Arato, you've slain this giant centipede, but you can see that little will-o-wisp is annoying your companions.
How far am I from the will-o-wisp?
From the will-o-wisp, you're not far. Everyone is just like kind of bunched up in like 10 feet or something.
Okay, what does, I guess, is speaking to an action?
To an extent, you can speak to it, but like each round, so all of you go once. That's supposed to be 6 seconds. So you don't want to have like a long, protracted conversation unless you want to use your whole turn to talk. But you can talk.
Okay. Well, I do have primordial as a language, so I'll probably.
I mean,
just
all of you heard it call to Gidget in common that it should have been her.
Rude.
So then, what I would probably do is use my dash bonus action, right?
You don't need to dash. You're so close. You have like 25 feet of movement. You can make it anywhere you want in this encounter,
okay.
unless you want to run away. If you want to run away, then yeah, sure.
No,
Running away is
since
possible.
everybody's within that range, I will go ahead and sneak attack with my rapier.
Okay. Yeah, you can just hit with your rapier, and if it hits, you can do sneak attack damage. So yeah. So first, roll to hit. Roll that d20. Add your modifier and your proficiency bonus.
The proficiency bonus is 2, so my modifier, so I hit for, or 16 is what I would roll for in total.
Total with your modifiers?
Yep.
It dodges out of the way. It is a fast MFer. Fast. It's dexterous. It's got such high dexterity.
It's insane. It's not fair.
It's okay, so I can't hit
Run.
this.
Yeah.
Could just
And it's like me, 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 me,
run away.
me. So it's like a little child voice mocking you as well.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So that's Erato. Joebert, want to do something there?
Oh, gosh. I'd like to take a whack at it with the longsword.
All right. If you'd like to take a whack at it, that's fine. Roll to hit.
Okay.
It's such a high AC, so roll well. No pressure, but roll well. Oh yes, natural 20! Airborne!
Yeah. Get this little.
Yes, so you get to do your double damage. Actually, something I want to do, it's something that TK Johnson does when they DM Tales from the Mist. Whenever their player gets a critical, you roll the original dice, and then you take them, and then instead of rolling again, you take the maximum amount that dice can give.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's fair because it's really disappointing when you get a critical and you roll
And
two
you
ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So since I'm only using it the one-handed, it's out of a D8, and I add +3.
Okay.
So
you're gonna add +3 +8 because you critted, and then roll your regular damage.
So you already have at least 11 points of damage.
Roll your damage, Devin.
okay. So roll my normal D8 with the modifier now.
Yes.
Yes.
I got 7.
7 +3, and then you take the maximum amount a D8 can give.
3. It was a 4 +3. So.
Oh, a 4 +3. Okay, so 7 total, and then you take the maximum amount your dice can give, which is an 8. So 7 +8, you do 15 points of damage. Is it just with a long sword?
Mm-hmm.
That long sword doesn't happen to be magic, is it, eh?
I do not believe so. No.
It's not okay. So once you manage to just wreck this will-o-wisp, you hit it and it makes a yipe noise, and for a second it just looks like you're gonna cleave it straight in half, and then it manages to kind of shear off to the side, and it cries in pain and it goes, "Mama!" But you've done a good bit of damage.
Okay.
Okay. It is still not bloodied, though. I'll just mention that.
Do will-o'-the-wisps bleed?
They don't, but bloodied means that it's below half hit points.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Damn. So how many hit points have we hit it with?
You've hit it with just a few. It's got some immunities and resistances that aren't the best.
Gosh darn.
Okay, what would Nim like to do next?
Oh god, I don't even know.
As a fun point, your crochet hook, is it called Heartbreaker? Heart Eater?
Heart hook.
Heart hook. Heart hook counts as a magical weapon.
What does that mean for me?
Well, you could use Heart hook as a quarterstaff and and pummel things with it if you wanted.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, so roll to hit.
That is a 9.
No.
Oh, wait. What's a hit modifier?
You're a sorcerer. I think you would use strength. You would use strength plus proficiency.
So 11.
So 11. No, it's so gosh dang fast. But it does seem like it does a wide berth around Heart hook. It crackles around it like it's unhappy. It feels like it's unhappy. Doesn't want to be around Heart hook. And then it's the giant centipede's turn, and it just scuttles rapidly next to you up and down the path.
It's not actually doing anything.
It's not going into the path, but it's menacing you. I'm gonna mess you up. I'm here. I could do it. It's not doing anything. And then it is the will-o'-wisp turn, and the will-o'-wisp is going to it's going to shock you. Gidget.
Oh, Gidget's gonna be dead.
Yep.
I have 6 hit points left.
All right. And I know for a fact that an 18 hits you. So take that.
Why did you ask?
So take that 9 points of damage as the shocks course through you, and you feel yourself, I believe, collapse as you only had 15 hit points.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, total.
Yeah. I'm unconscious.
All right, but you don't have any reactions you could do, right, Sam? No reactions?
I do not have any reactions.
Then Gidget goes down.
And we have to wait for our turn to do anything, correct?
Yes.
And I start dex saving throws next round, right?
If you have a reaction, you can at any time do 1 reaction per round. You may not, but like tieflings, like what Nim is, tieflings get a reaction called Hellish Rebuke, so they can if they get damaged, they can cast Hellish Rebuke on whomever damaged them. So,
But I don't. But it's only once they damage me.
yeah, they have to damage you.
I don't know.
All right, so that's that Will-O-Wisp there.
Don't know if we get anything like that.
Gidget, can I get a death save? Roll that d20.
Is that that starts this round?
It starts on your turn.
Okay.
Oh, now it's good. Now it's Gidget's turn. Oh.
What'd you get there?
That's an 8.
All right, so that's 1 fail. You see Gidget like convulsing. She has just if she gets 2 more fails, Gidget will be TPK. Fun fact: remember, you have your bracelet. You have your bracelet. Okay. So remember, Devin, I forgot to do this for Jobert, but Jobert totally got this. Mama Mavis is not sending you out without one of these. So she gives each of her new adventures like an obsidian bracelet that I think, if I remember correctly, Nim put on a necklace, Arado put on his hat, and Gidget put somewhere silly. I don't remember where. And you would have also gotten a bracelet that could fit you, and you could put it on a hoof or your hand or wherever you want. And this is essentially a death ward spell. So the first time you go down to 0, you pop up with 1 hit point, and the bracelet breaks. So actually, Sam, Gidget gets shocked. She starts to roll back and go down, and you all see her obsidian bracelet break, and this like magical light a la Sailor Moon coalesce around her, and instead of falling all the way back, she stumbles forward with 1 hit point, and it is
Not
her
nearly
turn.
as gracefully. Just gonna say that right now. It's not a graceful girl.
Yes. But it's Gidget's turn. You got 1 hit point. What do you want to do?
All right. Gonna go at it with a hand axe is what I'm gonna do.
All right, hit it. Hit it. Hit it.
14, 18, dirty 20.
Yes, you hit it.
Yay!
Yes.
Finally.
Its AC is so high, but you hit it.
Oh. So what's going to happen is it's going to take 1d6 plus 2 slashing damage.
Okay. But that's
That's gonna be-
magical.
5 slashing damage.
Okay, good. So it can take all of that since this is magical.
Right, and then it's also going to do. It's also going to take 4 points of cold damage.
Okay. It takes that magical damage, and it kind of like whines and cries, and then when the cold damage flares around it, it sort of shakes it off like a dog. It takes some damage, but it is not as effective as you'd like it to be. You said that was
Right.
4 points?
Yeah, it was 4 points.
Okay, so it's still taking
And then-
damage. It's wobbly. It's bloodied. It's
I'd like to then say, what do you mean about why should it have taken me?
if it had taken you, it wouldn't have taken me.
What took you?
I don't want to say. It's Arado's turn. I know it'll say the lady, the crying lady.
Well, I guess I'm gonna roll to hit.
All right. You're just like.
Fair enough.
I totally failed that.
Like a crit fail?
Yeah, I rolled a 1.
You
But I do
rolled.
have modifier.
You rolled a 1.
Dude, it was terrible.
Let's just get a D4 out there. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Gidget, feeling good about that strong hit she did against the will-o-wisp, doesn't see as this rapier comes whizzing by her. It barely misses her nose by like an inch as Errato just like punches her in the solar plexus for 1 point of damage. And she goes down.
Zero. Alright.
So Gidget goes down. Alright, oh, that's great. I love it. Okay, so it's Joe's turn there.
Oh.
No.
Oh my.
Oh man, my dice want to murder you tonight, Sam.
So, I'm gonna try to sort of, I guess, just sort of, as gently as I can, I'm gonna put my, what am I putting? I'm putting my boomerang away.
Yeah.
And then just try to, I guess, gently hoist Gidget up.
Yeah.
Awkwardly with one hand.
Sure.
She's like,
Like I might hold, say, a cat or something.
So yeah, you get her under the arms, her little legs are flopping.
And I'm gonna try to talk to that will-o'-the-wisp. How about we stop attacking one another and you take us to that lady, huh? You take us to that lady.
You all need to die.
No, we'll help you out. Just stop attacking us. We'll help you out by, getting rid of our...
You're not my mom! I don't even have a mom!
You don't even have a mom?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't even know how that works with will-o'-wisps. Will-o'-wisps. I don't know how that works, to be honest. So that you might be correct. I don't want to assume knowledge that I don't have. So what you're saying is you're not gonna you're not gonna stop fighting.
I will take your friend's life and then I will live.
No, that's not quite how that goes. Is the thing.
Are you sure it doesn't, Devin?
I mean, I can't say. Really, I'm not an expert in this area, but can't let you take the gnome.
You gonna try to hit it?
You weren't by any chance like Is it? I'm just ignoring the giant bug at this point. Is it really fair for background ambiance? We don't think it's like weird disembodied chilly old spirits in a will-o'-wisp here, or is it just a regular will-o'-wisp? Anybody got any knowledge about this?
I mean, it very much sounds like a child.
But they said they had no mom.
Yeah, but children have moms. I'm fairly certain I know that.
Some children are orphans.
But yeah, I know that. You knew your mom's not Marna, or was it Reek?
Marna. Marna was the woman.
Not a Marna.
All right, Devin. What do you want to roll for? Do you want to roll to persuade this thing or something? Do you want to roll to hit?
I'm gonna roll to persuade it to stop attacking us and take us to the mean lady.
It's gonna be a disadvantage because it is chaotic evil and you're actively fighting it.
Oh, this'll go real well. I also got a -1 in charisma.
All right, let's see it. It's gonna be high. It's gonna be like an 18.
See what happens. Nope. Nope, that backfired.
That was a 5.
Fine.
Yeah.
I am not convincing it. It is going to continue.
Yeah, it's like, you're mocking me because I don't have a mom! And the centipede hisses, and it's Nim's turn.
I didn't make the situation better.
But you tried.
You did.
You tried.
That's what counts. You tried.
An effort was made.
If I give,
Hoist.
how is someone that's KO'd revived? Remind me.
You could do a medicine check. If you get a 10 or above, you stabilize them. But unless you get a critical fail, they don't get a death save. You also all should have 1 health potion on you. And you can give that to Gidget if you wanted.
Is that my action?
Put her down her gullet.
Yes, giving another person a health potion is your action. If you give yourself a health potion, it's kind of like just interacting with an object. It's like a free action, essentially. But giving someone else is an action, because you gotta...
But wait, I get an action. No, that's movement and attack.
Yeah. If you have a bonus action, you can bonus action, too.
I don't.
Okay.
Do I have direct line of sight to that centipede?
I mean, yeah, it's like right on the path. It's just...
Okay,
It's just like a dog that's like a yappy dog that has one of those like collars on so it can't leave its front, and then it's like running. It's gonna get you if you get over here. If you help me out.
Let's do Ray of Frost on Mr. Centipede.
Okay. Roll to hit. Use that roll you used for those children.
Yeah, right. 15.
Just a 15.
Oh, wait, hold on. So when I roll, I add my charisma modifier, because that's
And
where
your
my magic comes
proficiency
from.
And your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, since you're a sorcerer.
Where's my proficiency bonus?
At level 2, it's like a 2.
proficiency.
Oh, so then I got a 17.
It dodges that ray of frost.
Really?
It's a high AC!
Why do they both have high AC?
I mean, the centipede does it. The centipede doesn't have a high AC, but it's also not...
That's
Well, that's what he
no,
would-
I
he would
cast
have
that
to-
as a centipede.
Oh, you want... Oh, okay, I thought you just wanted to know what the centipede was doing. No,
No.
you totally hit the centipede with a 17. Yeah, it's a big old thing. So roll...
Okay, so now I roll...
Yeah.
Wait, that was Ray of Frost, so 1d8.
Yeah.
That's the diamond-y looking one, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. And that is...
Is it a 1?
It's a 1.
Really? You just... Those children took 8 points of damage. Alright.
They threw me off my game!
Alright, so you just like, screw this will-o-wisp, I'm gonna go for the easy hit, and you do! You hit it with that ray of frost, but you like kind of just hit the back of it, and like shear off some of its legs, and it like just like scuttles them off, and it's like, and it is not dead.
It is, however, moving slower.
It's moving a little slower. It wasn't attacking you, but it's moving a little slower.
Yeah, it did something.
So you took 1 hit point off of it. Alright then. That's Nip.
So when I'm looking on D&D Beyond, when it says hit/DC next to a spell, what does that mean?
Oh, no, does it need to do a spell save DC for Ray of Frost?
No.
I think it means that either for a spell you either need to hit it, so you roll, or it needs to do a DC,
DC save.
dice check, whatever it means. It means they have to roll an ability check to see if they're damaged or how much they're damaged by.
Okay, because the +6s are next to Firebolt and Ray of Frost on my list.
Mm-hmm.
And it says hit/DC, and under it says +6 for both of them. I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, so both Firebolt and Ray of Frost are melee attack.
Okay.
So you throw them as if you're throwing like a spear or something. But anything else like poison spray, what I cast earlier,
Yeah.
is a con check. So the creature actually has to do a DC saving throw, and they have to beat my DC to not take the poison.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's now the little will-o-wisp turn. Well, it's.
I'm dead.
You're not dead. Oh, but thank you for reminding me of a bad thing I could do, Sam. I appreciate it. Okay. Oh, gosh. Oh, do I want to? You're so wee. Oh, I'm not a bad person, am I? I'm going to think about this real hard.
Cindy, just follow your evil DM heart.
Well, finally I get to kill you in a game, Sam. It's amazing. So, you know what? That centipede wasn't going to hurt anyone, but now it's just like, you know what? I'm going hard.
Okay.
And it's going to go after Nim. It's going to try to bite you. Oh, that hits. You're a sorcerer, right? So, it's a 13 to hit, so that hits ya. That hits ya. You don't give me a base? I don't want to roll things. Alright, oh, good. Oh, gosh, goodness me. Nim's picked a fight with a scrapper. You take 6 points of piercing damage, and then you feel its poison pump into you for an additional 4, 8, 14 points of poison damage.
Wait, so how much did I take in total?
You took 6 points of piercing damage, plus 14 points of poison damage. That's 20 points right there.
Correct, so I am at -3 HP.
Yeah, you went down.
But you pop back up with 1.
Alright, yeah.
She,
Oh no.
but Nim has the little bracelet.
Nim does, but other stuff happened with giant centipedes. I'm gonna TPK you guys with a will-o-wisp. Oh my god. So once again, you feel like that poison course through your veins, and you feel yourself get wobbly, and then the bracelet breaks, and it infuses you with a little bit more stability, and you pop up with 1 hit point. However, you find yourself poisoned and paralyzed.
Paralyzed, poisoned.
Oh my god.
1 hit point.
Done.
Oh my gosh.
With 1 hit point.
This is supposed to be a level 2 game. Oh my gosh. Chris, why didn't you join us?
There's no way this is level 2 with that high of AC for these people.
It's okay, the centipede is just a 13 AC. You totally hit it. And it also only has 4 hit points, Evan. I thought you would kill it. Oh my gosh, okay. We're gonna finish because we gotta finish this encounter so we can go to bed.
Okay.
It's the will-o-wisp turn, and the will-o-wisp is gonna go after... Maybe you should have run. The will-o-wisp is gonna go after Jobert, because Jobert, mocked it. It's gonna try to hit you. I guess if I roll really high, I'm gonna switch dice so I don't kill you. I need to switch dice or you will all die. Yeah, a 21 hits you.
Shit.
You're so good. I'm really proud of this dice, but I didn't need it to do this tonight. So thank you for your service. You take 9 points of lightning damage. How's
for Saturday's game?
how's old Jobert doing there?
Still
Oh,
kicking 5
shoot.
points.
Still kicking. But goodness, oh fuck, I can't do it. I don't want to murder
I forgot
you.
I could have cast shield.
Oh, yeah, you could have as
That's
a
okay.
reaction.
That's okay. That's okay. It's a new spell. I forgot all about it.
Well, Okay, because I really
Shield is
don't.
a reaction.
I really don't want to murder you. And shield is a reaction. Does shield affect your AC?
It does.
Because
Yeah,
I rolled a 13 to hit you, and your AC is a 12.
And with shield, it would have been 17.
Yeah.
I will totally allow you taking no centipede damage, because this is a new thing you're learning, and I don't want to kill you all.
Okay, so we'll do that.
Okay.
If that's okay.
All right, so you use shield, and you don't take 20 points of damage.
Okay.
How many do I take?
You take none. It doesn't hit you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're also not paralyzed or poisoned, and you didn't have to use your death ward bracelet.
Okay.
They're fine.
So you're in a much better position now.
Nim is fine.
Yeah.
Nim is fine.
I didn't want to create another character.
Just cycle through a whole bunch.
Yeah.
All right, Sam. Sam, I can do this bonus action. Are you feeling lucky with a Constitution saving throw?
You know what? Just bring it.
All right, because this will-o-wisp is going to go to you and try to consume your life. I need a DC 10 Constitution saving throw, or you die.
10.
Yes!
10. I rolled a 9. My con is a 1.
Oh, man.
Yes.
You have just hit it, because if you had not, like, it would have siphoned the life out of you. You would have perma-died, and it would have regained 10 hit points.
No!
So,
Nasty little thing.
it cries out in anguish, and it's just like, no! And it's Gidget's turn. I believe, however, you're still unconscious. So can I get that death save?
17.
17. That's one save, 2 more, and you're out of the woods. All right, that brings us up to Errata.
So I have a health potion,
You do have 1 health potion. Everyone has 1 health potion on them.
so I could give that to...
If you
Gidget?
want to use your action to give it to Gidget, you can, and then she would pop up with health.
Can I just give him Gidget, so I can maybe get the sword, or not my sword, my shield?
Yeah, you could just like slough her off.
Fine.
Like
I
dead
can't
skin.
give you my current mode, but I will give you my health potion.
Okay, so you got to give her the health potion. Sam, do you want Phil to roll that for you?
I'll roll it.
Okay, so 2d4 plus 2.
Yep.
All right.
These health potions are...
How many?
9 points.
9. So Errata very kindly gives her some health potion. It seems extra effective, almost as though the universe doesn't want you to die. and Gidget like blearily opens her eyes. Okay, so that is
Fuck just happened.
you feel like you had a very close brush with death. That's what happened. All right, so that's Errata's turn. Joe, what would you like to do, dear?
I'll kill that
Keep
one.
going. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I want to take my Tola longsword
You're-
and attack this little pesky thing.
Okay. Roll it. Please hit.
So, wait, let me go.
Mhm.
I get a... And... 16.
16. No, you swipe at it again, and it just does not cannot hit it. It's taunting you. It's laughing because soon you will join all the other children.
And with my action surge, I'm gonna take a health potion. Oh wait, I don't need that.
You don't.
If it Oh, okay, then can I just take a help post?
Yeah, you can interact with an object once your turn, if it's with yourself. Okay?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that would be, it's 2d4 plus 2. Those
Yeah.
4 plus 2. Oh, so I get 8 points back.
Awesome. Okay, that's pretty good for you. So that's Joe. Did you want to do an actual action surge?
I wanted to save it for the friggin' lady, but seems like the will-o-wisp is gonna get us.
You won't make it to the lady tonight if that makes you feel better.
You definitely won't make it to the lady tonight. Like, tonight.
I mean, I can only do it one per, like, rest. I have to do another, I'll rest if I'm doing it again. And I don't think we'll get a rest in between.
You might. Like a long rest or a short rest?
Either, apparently.
Well, you short rest are only an hour, so you might.
Alright, cool. Then I might as well try then.
Okay.
So that's now that. I roll again with my action. Nope. 4. Did it even worse.
Alright, yeah, you swing again and it just does not work. Nim, is there anything you would like to do?
Kill everything.
Okay, do your best. I'm going to write to the creator of this, and I'm going to be like, your will-o-wisp almost killed my whole party.
I'm going to take a swing at the will-o-wisp with a heart hook.
Good. Swing it, swing it, swing it.
Why?
Strength is plus 2. 17.
17.
Does not hit, right?
Not yet.
It's like an 8.
No. You swing again with hard hook, and it just does not connect. This will-o-wisp is wily AF. All right. But it's that centipede's turn there. Well, that centipede's, I guess, gonna try to bite you again. But I'm using a new die. What dice do... I'm gonna use this one. I don't feel good about this one. Oh, I'm on a hot streak tonight, guys.
Are you?
I am, Evan. I'm sorry. That's a 21 to hit.
No!
And that's absolutely going to hit, so yeah.
Oh, you were supposed to fucking get a Constitution saving throw anyway. This roll 20 is not telling me the correct thing for the giant centipede. Alright, you take 4 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And I need a DC 11 Constitution saving throw.
That
if
makes
you have
a lot more sense.
Yeah.
18.
Yes. All right. You make it. So even though it bites into your arm, you can kind of feel like this poison, but you just shrug it off. How dare this tiny worm? And so all you take is that piercing damage, no poison damage.
4?
Just 4. Yep.
Yep, okay.
Yep. 8 is that centipede. Not happy. It's the will-o-wisp turn. Tragically, nobody is down, so I guess it's gonna roll to hit. Let's see if I get it again. 1, 2, Devin! Jobert! It goes after Jobert. And I use this dice again and see.
Got my shield with me this time.
Yeah, that's a dirty 20.
I'm a 20 with my shield.
Yeah, that hits.
I thought if you meet the AC...
It hits if you meet the AC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You gotta meet the AC.
Ew.
So I'm gonna also retire that. You did a good job, though, my friend. And you take 9 points of lightning damage.
Always with the points of the lightning damage.
And it giggles at you and says that you're fun to play with. Gidget. This is like one of the longest fights round-wise that I've ever been in.
I know.
We're on round 5.
Lord.
And what's worse is my thing is no longer a magical weapon.
Why not?
It's a concentration spell. I died.
Oh, gotcha.
It still takes damage if it's not magical. Just not as
Oh,
much.
I know. I also am out of spells, and my 2 cantrips don't do anything.
Oh, goodness me. Yeah, well,
All right, I'm gonna go at it with my hand axe. 7. I rolled a 17, so with everything, it's gonna be above a 20.
okay, good, that hits.
All right. 7 points of damage.
All right. Since that's non-magical, it takes half of that, but that hit it, and it sort of shakes and shudders a little bit as though it's going staticky. It looks like badly injured at this point. Badly injured. All right. So anything else that Gidget wants to do?
That's all I can do.
You can interact with an object. Health potion?
Oh. Is anybody down at the moment?
I'm down to 4 points.
Well, you can't. Giving someone else a health potion is an action, but if you
No,
want to,
I want to wait until after the encounter just to be on the safe side.
okay. Then it's Arado's turn.
I think I'm going to swing for the Will-O-the-Wisp.
Mm-hmm.
And I rolled an 18 plus my modifier.
Yes, that will hit.
Yay! Finally, get it.
And I'm going to do the attack.
Yes. So roll your rapier attack first, and then the sneak attack.
So I do 5 with my rapier,
Mm-hmm.
2, and 1. So I do 8 total.
8 damage total.
Did you add your modifier to your damage for the rapier?
No, I did not. So I get plus
3.
my dex modifier.
Your dex. Yeah.
Okay, so that's dex is plus 5.
Oh, you have a 20 on dex?
No, that's what the sheet says. So my base one is 6. Okay, sorry.
Yep.
My base one is plus 3.
Okay, so that's actually 11 points of damage. So make sure when you add damage, you add your dexterity modifier.
Okay.
Yep. All right. And even though you feel some resistance to it, how do you kill this will-o-wisp?
Hey, finally.
Finally.
I am going to thrust straight into the core of the Will-O-the-Wisp and twist.
And you get this nice little spiral of light as you do so, and you hear like a little plaintive shriek as it goes up. Yay! All right, so the will-o-wisp is dead. Now, do either Joe or Nim want to attack this giant centipede? When it sees the will-o-wisp go up, it sort of like hisses back and recoils.
I don't like killing unnecessarily, so I won't.
Okay.
Is it backing away? I mean, is it no longer attacking us?
Like a little bit, like it's pulled back.
Can I give it a mean look?
Okay. Do you want to intimidate this? Do you want to
Get out!
intimidate this giant centipede?
Yes, I'm intimidated away. So I actually get +2 with intimidation because of my soldier background that I chose. Let's see how well this works. 21! Worked real well.
21! This is when you roll the high ones.
Yeah, it's the highest when it's like...
Better late than never.
Yep.
Yeah, it's super intimidating and it's commanding. It's just amazing to behold. All of you are a little intimidated, in fact. And this little centipede just like and scuttles off as fast as it can and disappears into the underbrush. And so that, and so that finally takes us out of initiative.
Oh, jeez.
Guys, that was neat.
All right, you guys are still in the forest, but we're going to need to wrap up. So I'm going to say that when this will-o-wisp dissolves and the centipede leaves, and you guys find that you can take a few seconds to breathe, you do notice that the fog ahead of you thins out. And in fact, it looks like ahead of you there is a clearing with a large tree in it, and there's even some sun in that area. Still like kind of that white light that you get in winter, but much brighter than it has been so far.
Oh, awesome. Can we go into the clearing and just like chill for a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you find that you go to this clearing and you see this large tree, and there's actually 6 of them lining this glade, and there's a small garden at the base of one of them with these lovely orange marigolds and white sage, and there's a large canopy over this opening because of these 6 big trees all around, and there's also this kind of unnatural rustling. Nothing stops you from entering, and so you can go into this area, and you do actually, as you walk in, you feel safer. You feel as though if like there's been a contagion or something, and now you're in someplace warm, and you can decide whatever it is you would like to do, but as you do make your way closer to this tree and closer to this garden, a javelin jabs down into the ground. It's made of branches tied together, and you can look up into one of these trees where this garden is, and you see this old woman, has to be in her 70s, just in like vines and leaves, with raggedy, unkempt hair and wild eyes, and she's looking down at you and telling you to just leave! And that's where we'll end.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Okay. So, really good job, guys. I did, like, it literally says at the top of this is level 2. So, maybe I was supposed to give you guys, like, magical weapons beforehand.
What? You were supposed to what?
Maybe I was supposed to give you guys, like, magical items beforehand. It didn't say.
Yeah. Huh.
If we like assumed that's alright.
Experience.
Experience, exactly.
Oh my gosh. I hope you guys had fun.
It was fun.
And so, originally we were planning for next week, because we're actually playing next week and the week after that. We were planning on doing an entirely new adventure from the Uncaged Anthology Volume 1. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, it's beautiful, and I think it's quite reasonably priced for such like a gorgeous, awesome piece. And so we were going to play a different one, but instead next time we're going to pick off from where we left off and just do that. And so we're still going to probably just play 8 sessions because we're all super busy and everything. But we may either like skip a level at some time, or just like stop at level 7 instead of level 8. Or maybe we'll get to level 6. I don't know how long these will take, and we don't have forever. So before we sign off, I just wanted everyone to once again say who they were. If you want to plug a social media handle or a personal project you're working on, and if you wanted to talk to say something that you really liked about this episode, or something that you hated about this episode, that's fine too. And so we'll start with Jobert with Devin.
Hi. So I'm Devin Moody, and I don't have much in the way of social media to plug. So, yeah. But I do enjoy doing this.
Yeah.
I enjoyed getting to clomp around as a centaur mule.
I love Jobert.
I do too.
And
I don't
one
know.
day they're gonna save Nim's life, and finally Nim will stop calling them a donkey.
Goals. Friendship goals.
Okay. All right, so Sam, you can go next.
Who?
Sam.
I'm Sam, and I, again, like Devin, do not have a lot of social media to plug, so I won't do anything like that. But I enjoyed the creepy vibe of this one quite a bit. I love La Llorona's, like the tail and everything, and the dolls, the doll island. I'm assuming that's where that imagery came from. It's just great. It's a great image. So nice.
Okay. And then Phil.
I really actually enjoyed the combat. I felt like I got to move around quite a bit and engage like with party members and everything, so that was super fun, even though it was like really scary. So, but I think that atmosphere of like the mystery carried over to the combat and the storytelling within the combat, and that was really fun.
Yay!
So I really, and then my social media, I have an art account on Instagram at Phil.Weasley and on Twitter at Phil Weasley. So yeah, check me out.
And then Evan.
I'm Evan. La Llorona really scares the crap out of me. I love to swim, but I'm terrified of drowning. And until I put two and two together that children missing plus weeping woman, I silently messaged the party and was like, oh crap, this is kind of terrifying. But I really liked it. I agree with what everyone said. I think it was creepy. It was fun to play, and I am really excited to hear what the rest of the story is someday. So, social media, alphabet_Evan. I think just about everywhere. You can follow me. I don't do a lot of exciting things, but there it is. Thank you.
All right. And so, like I said, we were playing a game from the Uncaged Anthology Volume 1. It was The Weeping Woman by Kristina Sisto Kindel. And I swear it says level 2 up there. That's a level 2. And I've been Cindy, your DM. You can find me on Twitter at Babel_Drabble, obviously on Twitch at twitch.tv/CLBUTOR. We'll be back next week. Phil and I last week put out a DM's guide document for the Feycorn, so if you want to play a Feycorn, please look it up. And hopefully I'm doing a bunch of D&D related stuff in the future, but nothing is happening yet, so I won't mention them. And I had a really great time. I really thought this combat was going to be like maybe 30 minutes. So I was like, we'll do a combat because, we haven't rolled too much, so let's just do it one real quick. And then I almost murdered my whole party on my second session with them. But it was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad you guys did defeat her, and you could do it on your own, so you feel good about yourselves.
Yay!
Yay! So if you watch, thank you for watching. I hope you'll come back in a week. I'll try to have last session up sometime, and so just, have a great night. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye!
Bye-bye!